Yeah, the TV volume is fine, hun. All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Game 7 Hangout. We've got the Buffalo Sabres and Montreal Canadiens, and of course, the winner of this will move on to the Eastern Conference Final to face the Carolina Hurricanes. This is only the second Game 7 we've had in these playoffs so far. The other one was with the Montreal Canadiens as they won on the road against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we'll see if they can once again rekindle that clutch road magic against the Buffalo Sabres in this case. And we'll see if they can keep the puck out of the net because, holy God, last game, the Sabres ran away with it by a score of 8-3, which was pretty ridiculous. Hey, what's going on? We've got Hockey from Home. We've got Jake. We've got Chance. We've got, I saw Dalton in there just a moment ago as well. Let's go, Buffalo. Hey, Trevor, hope you're enjoying the playoffs, my guy. Will it be the Avs or the Golden Knights? I think that series is going to be closer than a lot of people are letting on. I'm still going to stick with the Avs, but it's going to be a very intense 6 games. At least 2 of those will be decided in overtime. We got Tony hanging out. Hey, how you doing? It's been too long. Hey, it's been what? I've only streamed once during the whole playoff, so you haven't really been missing out on a whole lot. I appreciate you being here, and maybe we'll have some opportunity to do this some more during the postseason, but we'll see. We've got Samantha joining us here. Hello, Samantha. We've got kind of forced a fractured knee. Holy cow, man. I didn't know you played hockey. I hope that you're not in any pain, my guy. How have I been? I mean, overall pretty well. Cortana is doing very well right now. She, by the way, as you guys know, every time Cortana gets a super chat, she will get a super treat. Whoop, there it is. She's been in physical therapy the past month and has been crushing it. She's doing much better than before, and so when she's doing well, I'm doing well. Same thing, of course, with Mrs. Twister, and everything's good there too. The goat heads are tough. Are they now? Are the Sabres actually wearing those? I haven't looked, but I heard that they were rumored to possibly be wearing them. Picked a fight with a light pole on an e-scooter. Oh my god! I don't even want to know what happened to the scooter. Come on, hey, what's the status of Mark Stone? We'll start with that because if he's in the lineup, they have a very very legitimate chance of winning. But I think they played really well without him. Oh, Cortana, she's had 2 surgeries in the past 3 years, and she dinged up her knee just about 2 months ago. And she's 12, so it's good to have her, getting some professional treatment and avoiding another surgery. So that would be good. The scooter's fine. All right, right on. I am chilling. What's going on, Kane Surge? Yeah, I know. Somebody had posted on X. The Canes could have gone to the World Championships and played there and come back and still make it to the Eastern Conference Final, which actually, in hindsight, would not have been a bad idea. Of course, they wouldn't have known they'd have this much time off. But so far, 8-0, it's crazy. But I think that they're going to have a very challenging time with whichever team advances here. It could be either one that gives them a tough time. But, I'm, of course, rooting for them to get back into the final for the first time in 2 decades. Coming from someone with a Mark Stone jersey, injury-prone Mark Stone, injury-prone Stone. Hey, I mean, and he takes his game to a pretty high level in the postseason, so having him back would be absolutely clutch for them. But as we've seen, Marner has been probably the best forward in the playoffs so far. Dean, what's going on? Hope you're looking forward to this conference final matchup. I mean, I think it's a very successful run for the Knights considering where they were about 6 weeks ago or 7 weeks ago before Tortorella came in. Chance, what's going on, dude? Carolina would blow the doors off of USA with Joseph Woll in goal for the Americans. I'm not following. Woll is a joke of a goal. I see what you're saying now. Who would play goal for the? Who from Carolina would play goal though? Bussey's not American, is he? Anyway, I love the beard. Oh, what's going on, man? Amish Living seems to agree with me. I know because I can't. Nobody can see what's going on here. There's really not a whole lot, and it's all blonde. So yeah, it's much more Amish looking than I would prefer. Let's see here. If the Knights don't have didn't have William Karlsson back, losing Stone would hurt more. Without home right now, they have or without Stone right now, they have more speed. Okay, so what's going on ESPN? Are we actually going to be able to watch this? Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. All right, so what does the poll look like so far, my friends? We've got 69%. Oh, somebody just voted there. For a moment there, we had 69%. Nice. Going for the Buffalo Sabres in this game, or at least people who say they're going to win. Um, I'm still sticking with my original series prediction, which was the Canadiens. I figured they would have closed things out at home in Game 6, but the Sabres just stepped on the gas and never took their foot off of it. And it was funny because you go back to that first period, it looked like it was over for the Sabres. Oh, this beard goes nowhere, though. I mean, it's gonna stay in some way, shape, or form. Just might need to get it a little bit polished up for certain occasions, but yeah. All right, hockey from home. You have a good evening and enjoy this game and hopefully the rest of the playoffs too. Let's see. Maple Leafs fans got to be so pissed looking at how well Marner's playing. A lot of people out there are saying though, "Oh, look at the competition. You know, he's not doing this against Florida. He's not having to do this against Boston." I call BS. I think it's still a remarkable performance from him. I was praying for Owen Tippett because of internal bleeding. Yeah, that's. I hope that that's not going to keep him sidelined too much in the offseason. But I mean, what can you do about that, right? This is the biggest Sabres game in your lifetime. Yeah, that sounds just about right. When the Hurricanes went to the Cup in '06, I think that they beat the Sabres to get there. And Buffalo it wasn't just a one-hit wonder for the Sabres. Around that time, they were a very good team. Partially because Ryan Miller was a great kind of successor to Dominik Hasek. I know that there might have been a couple goaltenders in between, but they had great goaltending there. They had scoring by committee. And of course, they had the goat head back then. 0506, yeah, they would have still been wearing the goat head, and then they started wearing the Buffalo slug after that. Oh yeah, that's right. The Minnesota Wild's new ECHL affiliate. I was surprised it wasn't, that they're not going to stick with the Heartlanders, but it's going to be the Jacksonville Icemen. Pro Bowl, howdy, howdy. Undead Abs. It's going to take a lot to make them dead, I guess. But go get that cup for Burnsy, please. Although it would be very bittersweet and a little difficult for me to, even though it wouldn't be so much me rooting for the Avalanche against the Hurricanes if that's what we're going to get, because I like the Hurricanes team more, but the Avalanche has Burns, and I want Burns to lift the Stanley Cup, and so in that case, Burns is not going to probably get another shot at this, so I will side with the Avalanche ultimately, but I guess I can be happy regardless of who wins. Go Avs go, says Samantha. People keep moving the goalposts on Marner. He's doing fantastic. And yeah, I mean, it's not like he's getting secondary assists on a power play either. The guy's scoring goals, right? Including the goal of the playoffs. That was incredible. The fact that Carolina had to go to 7 games against the depleted. Oh, that you mean Montreal had to go to 7 games against? In 06, excuse me. As asinine to think about. I don't even know who was out for the Sabres back then. That was kind of the year I started really getting into the NHL, but mostly, watching the Sharks at that time. Nick, what's going on, man? Hope your off season is going well for you. Excuse me. Carbonation. What's up, Derek? How you doing? Elias. Oh, Elias. Hey, long time no see. I don't know how we got this far. To be honest, I thought we would get first rounded. It looked for a little while. It looked like that for a little while, and then I don't really know what you can chalk it up to. But part of it has to do with Carter Hart really starting to look sharp in goal. Oh yeah, and tonight we're rocking the original royal blue Sabres here. No number, just a blank that I found on full moon jerseys many years ago. We got Ethan in the chat. How you doing, man? Here, we have an Ethan appearance, so we got to give Cortana a treat here. Boom, there it is. All right, a warm up used by Kirby Doc for $130. That's a hell of a deal, man. I honestly think the Hurricanes might be too rested for whomever they face. They might come out flat in the first game against the Habs or Sabres. I mean, I think it works to their advantage that they'll be energized by their own home crowd. I can kind of, I can see why people are making that point. But, the Canes had a little bit of rest as well between the Senators and Flyers, and they came out very sharp. So I think that they'll still look pretty good as they defend home ice there. Rocking the 26 Stadium Series for the Bolts and just got the Nordiques alternate. Ooh, lucky man. Let's see here. As a Canadian, the fact that Buffalo sings both national anthems, I'll give some respect. But on the other hand, they play like the second coming of the Florida Panthers and they beat Boston, so go Habs. Well, I mean, obviously the Sabres would be doing O Canada regardless of who they're playing right now, but this should be a really fun environment for Game 7, even if it's not at the Bell Center. There are going to be a lot of loud Sabres fans in the building tonight, at least to start things out. I want the Sabres to pull a 2019 Blues. Hey, I wouldn't be upset by that either. When I look at the Eastern Conference Final, any of those three teams winning, I'd be cool with. I don't think it was noise ordinance in Orange County. I think it was because of the Braden McNabb situation. Oh, yeah, just jump it in there. We've got Wild is Life here. Hope I'm doing well. I'm still heartbroken, but I think it's a big step. Yeah, I think that's the best way to look at it, right? It was, they broke through winning a series for the first time in forever. The whole season, they were very competitive in their own division once they acquired Quinn Hughes. And thank God they didn't have to play the Sharks in the playoffs. But really, I forget who like the top center on the free agency market is, but I think if you want to get to that next level, and I know you had Eriksson Ek injured at the end of the season, but still, they got to get better at that position. Everything else looks pretty good for them. Even if Quinn Hughes doesn't want to extend, I still think they could be. Well, then again, they did lose William, so that doesn't help. But I'd still be happy as a Wild fan going into next year. Cautious optimism, of course. You know how it is with Minnesota sports. Brodin was injured too. Yeah, that's a great point too. Imagine the Sabres winning a cup before the Bills even making the Super Bowl, for that matter. We're going to get started in just a second here. We've got it's Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. So he was the guy who played the rest of Game 6. He filled in for Alex Lyon, right? Isn't that what happened? We are underway from Buffalo. Sharkless playoffs. Well, I'll give you one more year to enjoy that. I was wondering if Quinn Hughes pulls a Tavares on the Wild. Well, I mean, the difference though is that he was traded there versus Tavares being courted in free agency. And what was crazy was he actually took less money to play for the Maple Leafs versus the Sharks. Anyway, so yes, we are underway in Game 7. So what is our poll at right now? We're at 50. Ooh, it's neck and neck. 52%, 55 now for the Sabres, and they're going to have to win this draw from their own zone. Suzuki and McLeod. Sabres. I think that was Darlene getting the clear. And looks like we've got we got an early penalty here? Or am I just was that the linesman putting his arm up? I don't know. Imagine if Tavares went to the Sharks, would they be any better? Probably not, because they still would have been missing Joe Pavelski. Although Tavares would have been he wouldn't have been a bad ad. It's just that still, I think the salary cap would have been constricted a little bit because the Sharks would have ended up paying even more for him than Erik Karlsson. All right, we got the Habs getting pressured in their own zone. Suzuki line out there, and Suzuki is offside. We'll see if Demidov can keep things rolling. He had a goal in the last game. Yeah, I already showed the jersey earlier, but yeah, this is what I've got. Just the original jersey from the 70s. It's just blank. There's nothing else to it. You do have the shoulder logo, which is the same as the main crest. I don't think any other team has done that. What's going on? We got Emperor King joining us here. You're vibing. I mean, Game 7 is a vibe. Can't go wrong with a winner take all in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Yeah. All right. Canadiens at the point. Here's Carrier, a shot immediately that goes off of Zucker. And now Josh Anderson. We got Nick, new member. What? Here, I'll toss this over to Cortana for you, huh? Here, Cortana, treat. Thank you, Nick. I think Stone retires, and Riley Smith would take the captain spot. That's interesting. It's a bit of a hot take. I feel like if San Jose had won a cup 2010 or 11, I think 2010 was one of their better teams. Chicago was the better team, but that was one of their best chances. I really thought that maybe like the 07-08 team, big save by Luukkonen, by the way. 38 months. Here, I'll give Cortana a treat for that too. As the Canadiens are cycling here with Caden Gooley, and he just checks that one over the other side of the blue line. So we'll have a regrouping Montreal team. Didn't realize the card was expired. Hey, I know I haven't been producing content at all, so it's like I know that some people can't keep their membership. It's not justified. So like I take no hard feelings from that, so that's fine. Oh, Ethan, new member as well. All right, I love it. Here we go. Here, we'll give Cortana a treat for that, Ethan. Thank you, sir. All right. Almost 3 minutes gone by here. Oh, chance for Tuck. He pivots. Oh, looking in the slot. I thought he should have just kept skating, frankly. But some good pressure here from some top producers for Buffalo. Now Owen Power. Shot toward the net. Lots of traffic. And now moved out of the zone by Newhook, but into the bench it goes. If it was Habs versus Avalanche in the final, like Nordiques and Habs. Yeah, Emperor King, a fun point. I thought about that as well, and I thought, you know what? I don't think it would ever happen, but that'd be the coolest thing if the Avalanche wore the Nordiques jerseys. However, I don't know if anybody saw this, but for one of these Canadian Sabres games, the what do they call it? The Videotron Center in Quebec City had over 10,000 people there watching the Canadiens. So that's very impressive. I don't know if they would be attending in such spirits if the Avalanche, their opponent, was wearing the fleur-de-lis. 2010 would have been the best shot since the Flyers. That's true. That's a good point too. But I also liked, in terms of San Jose's best team, I think 2010 would be up there. They had so much momentum going into the 06 playoffs, and then they just folded like a lawn chair in that Edmonton series once Milan Mahalik got injured. I don't know. I don't know if they would have been able to go all the way that year, but they were riding quite a hot streak then. I think the 07-08 team was actually pretty good too. Yeah. Actually, the 2013 team, they were one. Nobody ever talks about it, but they were one win away on the road in LA from the conference final with the LA Kings. or excuse me, against the Blackhawks. They probably would have lost that series, but even so, that team actually had a better run than we would have expected. All right, Canadiens have this behind the Sabres net. Shot from Gooley, looking for the tip, and it's Danault getting on the boards. Don't Danault. Wait, I got a goal horn here. Goal horn. So who had that on their bingo card? First goal of the game is scored by Philip Danault. Looking like 2021 Philip Danault. All right, we'll catch you later, Vanessa. Maybe for the next round. Sucks to hear Mikheyev is going somewhere else as Blackhawks make his signing rights available for trade. Really? So you liked how he played for Chicago, huh? Well, a lot different than what wasn't he signed originally? No, I'm thinking of Engvall. Uh, but yeah, I didn't think that was supposed to be a great contract, but I could easily be wrong. The Habs horn sounds like a train horn. It kind of does, at least the one that I pulled here. Uh, I do have some Sabres sound bites as well. If the Canes lose in the ECF, no excuses. I agree wholeheartedly. It doesn't matter who wins this series here. There's no excuse for Carolina in this case. Proud of the Ducks. I would be too, man. That was a very great step forward that they took this year. I don't think it's a fluke whatsoever. There's still stuff that needs to be addressed from roster construction standpoint. But when you look at the leaders of that team going forward, you got to feel good about them. So, and they were a lot of fun to watch. I mean, that Edmonton series, I enjoyed every period of that series for the most part. The Blackhawks have the most ex players in the playoffs. Really? Huh. I wonder how somebody determines that. I guess you just go read everybody's roster. All right, let's see how the Sabres respond to the McLeod line out there. A shot and pad save Dobish off of Josh Doan. Cycled along here for McLeod. Back to the point. Doan around the net. Carr's going to send this back to Samuelson. Good pressure from Newhook, and that creates a turnover. And streaking the other way is Hudson, and a shot. It's saved by Luukkonen. I think that was Hudson. No, actually, it was somebody else. Somebody with a 4 on their jersey. Now here's Suzuki out in front. Luukkonen making the save. And it looked like Josh Norris there was down and out, and there might have been a good portion of the net open for a split second there, but the Sabres dodge a bullet. All right, we'll see you a little later. Not sure who comes back between Trouba, Carlson, or Gudis. Yeah, that's true. You don't necessarily have to have all three of those guys back there. We'll take John Carlson off your hands. That'll help a little bit, right? And we get to our first commercial break. Let's see here. First early, first mid. So our poll was at 52 to 48%. Well, since the first goal has already been scored, I'll end the poll at that. I like Wallstedt. Yeah, I was looking on X today, and somebody was talking about maybe even trading Philip Gustafsson. When was the last time anyone heard Jacky be called Wi-Fi? I haven't heard it myself. I don't think. Not during the playoffs. But yeah, yes for Wallstedt. I mean, shoot, for a first full season, you can't really expect anything else besides that, right? He did a very good job. Right, Cortana? So the first game is going to be on Wednesday, right? Between the Avalanche and Golden Knights, if I'm correct, right? Yeah, that's going to be Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific. I'm curious if the Kings will hire Bruce Cassidy. Well, if they even have the chance to interview him, right? Because it seems like they're being blocked at the moment. I think it's funny that a player will get glossed with a nickname for a time and then it goes away. Who would be another good example of that? I mean, it's not like the national broadcast is going to be using the nickname so much. Maybe like during intermission, perhaps. Anyway, back to the action here as the Canadiens are able to snuff the puck out from behind their goal, send all the way down for an icing. Um, oh gee, flashbacks for some Buffalo fans. Cassidy would not coach within the division. Clearly, they're making a statement about that. Yeah. Has there been any reports of the Maple Leafs wanting to speak with him? I know that Craig Berube. Did I hear that he's going to speak with the Oilers? I think so. Omega Fish rocking the Mammoth. How you doing, man? Good season for you, Time. I mean, shoot, playoffs in their second year. They made the series pretty interesting too. The Leafs are a team. We're a team. If you remember what that was. Real deal. James Neal was one. PK Subban tried to make work and it died. This is a total not expected segue, but guys, please keep Neil from Post to Post and his family in your thoughts as his dad is in the hospital with stage 4 cancer. So I just hope that that Brent, his father, aka the GOAT, as he's always been known, will have some very happy memories of what he's done on that channel with his son. And so I recommend watching that. There's nothing else that I should really say about that, but yeah. Oh, no, you didn't, Tony. I just saw Neil and I saw Subban, so I thought Neil from Post to Post and PK Subban. I got the Canadiens jersey behind me, so yeah, that just made me think about that. I still need to reach out to Neil and just yeah, but yeah, that's heartbreaking, man. Because Brent was a huge reason, along with Neil, why I decided to make video content on YouTube and others as well. Who do I want to win? Samantha asks. You know, I don't really care too much ultimately because Montreal, I would want them to win for Neil and his family. Buffalo, I'd want to win just because Buffalo sports fans are deprived of a championship. Cassidy is still technically under contract. Yeah, that's wild, man. Be cool if it was Jack and Quinn in Minnesota together. Yeah, I know. Like, who's more likely to be on a different team in in a year from now? There's non-compete language in the contract. Oh, really? Huh. I guess if you're under contract, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think that's pretty standard, not just for sports, but for if you're trying to get a job in the same industry with somebody else, right? I'm mad this is a second round matchup. All right, Sabres have been putting together some good possessions. They've been keeping this pretty consistently in the Montreal zone. The Canadiens have 6 shots so far to 3 for the Sabres. And now Greenway giving chase. Patrick Kane could leave the wings. I wonder if he, like, what would be his idea of going to like a cup contender, you know? Because Kane's only played for original 6 teams, right? So where does he go now? Does he go to Buffalo, actually, even though they're not original 6? Or does he go to Boston? Not to say they're a cup contender. Oh, chance for Jack Quinn. He comes in, he shoots. Saved by the pad of Dobish. There was some contact there with a defender, but no call. Now here comes Bowen Byram. Stood up by Hudson and moved ahead. Alex Texier around the Buffalo net. Now shot or sent in from the point. Willie's got it back again. A puck that caroms out to the half boards for the magician Layden Hudson, who's triple teamed for a moment there. Deneau, the goal scorer, handing it back to Hudson or to Gouli. Pad saved by Dobish. And now Hudson picking it up at the other point. Sabres able to get it clear. They might have something going 2-on-1 here. Here comes Josh Doan. He centers it looking for Quinn. And he never really quite got that on goal, but he throws a big hit there behind the net on Caden Gouli. A chance here and a save by Dobish. Scrambling around is the Montreal goaltender. So the Sabres here have looked very sharp the last 3 or so minutes. And now Dobish is going to cover up as McLeod charges toward the net with 8:15 remaining in the period. Oilers, thank you for Brett Kulak. Yeah, he's had himself a playoff so far, to say the least. Monday Night Raw is about to start. All right, cool, man. Enjoy. Maybe one day I'll see something like that in person. But yeah, you could see Kaner actually coming back to Chicago for a year, huh? I think from a Chicago side of things, there's a good argument. I just don't know like what his priority is, right? We got Sakuna. Hey, welcome back. Good to have you here. We've reached a commercial break, by the way. I got no dog in the fight. Yeah, exactly. I will say it is in some way. It is kind of nice when you don't really care too much who wins, but you would be happy for either team because then you can just sit back and enjoy the hockey. As a born and bred Red Wings fan, I also think Larkin deserves better. I know he's signed through 2031. Definitely don't want to leave, but if we don't shape up, I want the best for him. I assume he has trade protections right now. What's his contract at? It's got to be a pretty affordable cap hit, I would think. Like maybe 8.5 million or something like that. Nick's calling it right here. Blackhawks will be in the playoffs as long as their top guys are going to be healthy. I am interested in seeing a full season of Anton Frindell. Definitely. Tough division, but as you said, despite their if you take away the injuries that they had, then they could have been in that wild card conversation toward the end of the season. 8.7. Okay. Yeah, that seems like something that would be reasonable to move. You have a Djurgården? That's awesome. Yeah, I agree, Dean. I feel for the Sabres fans. Yeah, exactly. And now the Sabres out there with what has been their top line. Zach Benson's really had himself a playoff strike, guys. Although I am kind of pissed off he didn't get, you know how McAvoy got 5 games for next season for the for that overhead slash on Benson. I don't know. I think it's pretty weird how Benson didn't get anything there. Big save, Luukkonen off the rebound, and another save. And now a delay of game to the Canadiens, so the Sabres are going to go on the power play. But yeah, Benson should have gotten something for the slew foot, in my opinion. We got Ovi fan hanging out here. Hey, what's going to happen to the grade 8? Is he going to hang him up, or is he going to go play in Russia? What do you think? Man, Luukkonen, huge. That was a magnificent glove save just a moment ago. All right. So Montreal. Oh, sorry. Why did I give Buffalo the power play? It's Montreal's power play. My bad. Which is good for them because they've been on the ropes a little bit, or at least on their heels, with the Sabres pressing the last several minutes. Who wants to come back for next season? Question is, like, what do you do? I know Ryan Leonard's going to be a focal point for this team in the near future, but I'd like to think that you probably need to retool somewhat to get back into the playoffs. Slavkovsky working it down for Suzuki. High slot Hudson. He'll just back off for a little bit. Zether with Demidov. Handing it over to Slavkovsky. The seam pass, and just a little bit wide there off the bid from Suzuki. Demidov floating it back to the point. Calling for the one-timer. Hudson hands it over to Suzuki instead. Top of the circle for Hudson. 40 seconds left in the power play. Caulfield trying to spin away from the defender. Back for Suzuki. Canadiens aren't really getting anything in the middle of the ice here. They're not taking any risks. The Sabres actually were able to get a change just now. Slavkovsky, high slot shot, and wide off the bid from Bolduc. They'll hand this back to the point. Hudson's been out there the whole time. With 10 seconds left, a shot. I think he healed that one. Suzuki, one-timer, they score! Zach Bolduc making it 2-0 Canadiens. And that is a kick in the nuts if you're the Sabres after the last several minutes that they've had out there. And they nearly had that penalty killed off, but a little puck watching, perhaps a little lapse in the coverage, and Bolduc taking that brilliant pass from Suzuki from down by the goal line, stuff that home. Or was that Doc out there with the assist? My bad. I thought it was Suzuki, but I could be wrong. But great shot, bar down. Cortana, you get a treat for a goal. Thank you, girl. Actually, that was a really small piece of apple. I'll give you another one. Ready? Luukkonen waving his glove at the ref like he's trying to use a Jedi mind trick. Speaking of which, has anybody ever listened to the rap group Jedi Mind Tricks? I couldn't get into them, but I don't know. 2-0 Canadiens. But don't forget, they had a 2-goal lead in the first period last game, and we saw what happened. Ready for Ryan Johnson as general manager, and the Sedins are excited? Good. Well, I'm glad that I don't want to say the worst is over, but I think you guys are at least coming out of the tire fire. Now it's all about properly rebuilding. And even though that takes time, as you've seen, teams that do a proper rebuild are onto something. Big scramble there in front of Dobish. Sabres are definitely hungry for a goal here, but here's a turnover. Texier, he's taking it on the breakaway. He comes in around Luukkonen and a pad save. Oh my goodness, Luukkonen stretched out and maybe got that with his skate. What a save. What? Do I bite my tongue, or are you just talking figuratively? I don't know. I can't do the commentary like I used to, if I ever was able to really do it. But people in school used to were into them. Rap is your number one genre, but I couldn't get into them. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, here's a chance, Zucker, and a sliding block by Carrier. Chipped out of the zone, but it's going to go for icing with 3:59 left here in the first period. Some close calls. I mean, Luukkonen, he's technically let two in, but he's made a couple of fantastic saves. There's nothing he could have done with that second goal. Rossi and Bouillon look good. I heard. Don't forget, Jake. They were down by 2 goals in Montreal for Game 6, and they got their ish together. All right. Chipped down by the Canadiens. It's going to be another icing. You right there, kiddo? call a cop. You robbed him. Yeah. Actually, I gotta play that sample. I've got it somewhere. I'll have to upload it. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can get that one. Hey, here we go, Chance. You'll enjoy.
Incredible save! He robbed him! Call a cop! He robbed Elmore blind! Call a cop! I don't believe it!
Yeah, that's got to be one of RJ's best calls. All right, here is Benson chipping it. Oh, swept away by Dobish. Thompson trying to fight off Carrier. Thompson working against Carrier. Ticket prices are still going up, though. I mean, I'm sure that it's not unique to the Canucks, but after this last season, I get the frustration. Really, the last 2 seasons. Thompson off a skate, out of the zone. And now 2:20 left here. The Sabres aren't doing well. I mean, they've manufactured a decent amount of offense in the second half of this period. But the penalty kill, while it was good for a while there, just couldn't quite finish off that last penalty. Quinn, big collision there with Gooley. Josh Anderson, part of that 2021 team that went to the final. Able to initiate a clear here. But this will be yet another icing to the Canadiens. With buck 46 left in the period. But you mean wait, Quinn Hudson's Lane Hudson's brother? Is that what it was? Tony dropping $5. A kind community. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Cortana will definitely appreciate a couple of treats on your behalf. Here we go. There we go. There's one. Make sure you smash the like, people, for Cortana. Here, Cortana, I'll give you another one here. Ready? Whoop. There we go. Good girl. Some organic apple coming your way. All right, here comes Josh Doan, a little shake and bake around Matheson. but intercepted from behind the net, turned over high in the zone. Darlene trying to slap one home. Dubish shoveling that puck behind the net. Ends up for power, looking for a tip play is Doan. Keeping it away from Evans, and now McLeod behind the net. And Hudson trying to evade Ryan McLeod here as the Sabres try to... Ooh, big hit by Greenway. Who did he just level? I think that was against Newhook. Maybe one more chance here for the Sabres. Malenstein, and the Sabres are offside. 37 seconds left to get in this first period. I've liked Beck Malenstein's game. But man, the Canadiens, the more opportunistic of the two teams. And actually, we've only had 2 commercial breaks, so we have to have one more with just 37 seconds here. After all the storylines there could possibly be this season, we could end up with John Tortorella facing a former player he won a cup with in Martin St. Louis. That's true, not to mention Nick Suzuki, former Golden Knight. And the crazy thing is that those teams have a playoff history against each other. And even, Josh Anderson and Philip Deneau are still part of and Jake Evans, I think, was on that team too. That went to the final in 21. The Montreal Canadiens actually had a losing record that year too. We're having another commercial break with 30 seconds. Yeah, I know. But I get it. At the end of the day, though, I mean, the Stanley Cup playoffs and the NHL in general, we have it pretty good as fans. It's not like MLB, definitely not like the NBA or NFL. NFL, it seems like we have probably about 6 stoppages per quarter or something like that, right? I'll take 2 intermissions over that stuff, right? Hmm. Now, I thought I heard that TNT is doing the conference final exclusively. So I don't know who the broadcasters are going to be for that. I would think Kenny Albert's going to be one of them, though. I wonder if John Forsling would do some of that too. The Kings should have purple in their jerseys again. Oh, 110%. I mean, it's unique. Nobody else in the NHL wears purple, and it's not really worn all that frequently in the major professional sports men's. So yeah, I would definitely support them using purple, even if you had their current look. If you had like purple as an accent color, I'd be all for it. And that's going to be the end of the period. A lot of time spent in the Montreal zone, but they have the 2-0 lead as we head into intermission here. Stanley Cup, unfortunately, is on ESPN this year. Is there any chance that Bob Wischusen could be the play-by-play guy for that? I think Sean McDonough has done a better job as time has gone on, but I mean, Wischusen's got the chutzpah, or he's got the gravitas, But the NFL's commercials are actually funny. The NHL after the 50th Scotiabank and Rogers ad. Yeah, I mean, it's not that much better in the States, I don't think. Reverse retro rankings from 5 years ago. Yeah, damn. That's a throwback. I'm surprised I even have that still on my channel. Because I did actually hide a lot of my older videos. White shoes with a dark suit. I just immediately think of Michael Jackson. So I mean, if you can pull it off, you're gonna be a legend. I don't know. I got to make decisions as well about that kind of thing. Although I don't, I'm actually thinking I probably won't wear a suit, but I'm getting married in October, and so I'm curious as to like what options there are for me to look good, but not do what I've experienced with other people's weddings. You know, I want to. I've done all my friends' weddings. I'm like the last one here, so I gotta do things a little different. Midnight Solar, what's going on with Rocket McCann? Good, I mean, good action so far. Despite Buffalo not getting on the scoreboard, they've, I think they're trying pretty hard out there, but hopefully we have another couple of periods like this. Sean McDonough is the most annoying human alive. Oh boy, that's a little harsh, but I get people's critiques. ESPN's coverage is terrible. They don't put effort into their broadcast, and they don't care about pronouncing the names right. I thought I saw a tweet from you about Buchagras uh, calling Bernard or something like that, or Berard, like Brian Berard, which definitely surprises me given his enthusiasm for the game. You know, I don't hate the ESPN show as much as other people do, but I will say that generally speaking, I'm more entertained by the TNT broadcast booth overall, like the spectrum of coverage, especially their intermission entertainment. ESPN's got some good personnel, but yeah, I think from both sides of or from both groups, especially for ESPN, that lack of crowd noise is just it really does kind of ruin the intensity of the experience. TNT guys are so much better. Yeah, I mean, I'll take the booth for no slight to like Steve Levy or Mark Messier, but I just think the dynamic of what you have with Bissonnette and I was thinking about when they had Rick Tocchet on there. Actually, he was pretty good, I thought. When you've got Liam McHugh, I think the way that he even feeds off of them is pretty good for TNT. And occasionally, Wayne Gretzky shows up for that as well. The last time, I don't know if that's actually true, Jake, or if you're just joking, but yeah, I mean that's kind of how ESPN has been about hockey. Actually, one sec, I'll fetch something in just a moment. Oh yeah. So one thing I've been getting back into a little bit is collecting old video games. Excuse me. And we have one old game shop where I am, and I just discovered a second one. But this brings back the feels right here. Now the 2K series actually had ESPN hockey for a year or two, I believe. But this was one of the last games on the original Xbox, NHL 2K7, with Joe Thornton, 27-year-old Joe Thornton here. And I used to play NHL 2K6 more. And then I got to college, and my friend had 2K7. It played a little bit differently, but I had to get this because of Jumbo. But 2K6, man, that game was amazing. Look at that. I mean, I even have the manual here. Oh, whoa, this used to be priced at $10, but they now they knocked it down to $6. So yeah, I had to have this back in my collection because I am a 2K stan. Like those 2K football games, 2K NBA games, so good, so good. Plus, you had I don't know if Gary Thorne did the broadcast for this one. I think he did it for 2K6 though. Do I have Knights of the Old Republic, a physical copy? Um, I have the second one. I'm pretty sure I do. I don't think I have the first one right now, but that was one of my favorite games on the original Xbox. ESPN cares more about the NHL than NBC did. I don't know. A lot of people are asking for the old NHL on NBC. I mean, I think a lot of people just want to hear Doc Emmerich again. Blows my mind that I can play NHL '09 on your phone or something like comparable to that. Gary Thorne did NHL 2010. Ah, well, I know Randy Hahn actually did one of these games. I don't think it was this one, but I could be wrong. We got Mason hanging out with us. Hey, man, how you doing? How's the playoffs treating you? How's your bracket looking? I wonder what happens with the Penguins off season. The core is getting older. I have to see what happens. Yeah, you don't want to get delusional and think that you're a piece or two away from competing for a Stanley Cup when you know made the playoffs this year unexpectedly. Your bracket's been busted. Oh, mine's in a million pieces. I have the one that has Ovechkin on the cover, like NHL '07, right, where he's got the screaming eagle. Favorite one is NHL 18 or 19. You can literally just crush everybody, and the refs don't care at all. How about speaking of games where you could crush the opposition? What about NHL hits back in the day? NHL hits, right? And you've got even before that, Wayne Gretzky 3D hockey, which was also made by Midway. Good times. I have KOTOR 1 and 2 on your phone. I So wait, do you have like an emulator for that, or at the barbershop the other day waiting for your haircut? No way. Dude, the KOTOR 1 is amazing. The way that they introduce it's kind of a letdown at first in the sense that you don't get to fight with a lightsaber, but the way that the game progresses and how you acquire more powerful weapons, and then ultimately when you actually get to the point where you craft your lightsaber, that is one of my favorite moments in gaming. It was done so well. But it's in the App Store. I had no idea. I don't even have an iPhone, so I don't have any NHL games, but a local old game shop has a bunch. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I'm a big supporter of you know old shops like that. We'll take Malkin off your hands. I mean, they do need some help at center, don't they? Gary Thorne did do the NHL after 2004, aside from like actually broadcast. Yeah, I think it was largely because of his contract. Because I believe he was approached when the NHL went back to ESPN recently, and it just wasn't possible because of his contract with. Is he still doing stuff with the Orioles? Right? You had a Cup final of Dallas and Tampa. I had Dallas, I had Dallas and Ottawa. Mecklen's going to get on the cover soon. I would think so. NHL '95. I have '94 for the Genesis. Malkin has to retire as a Penguin forever. Wait, is he a free agent or does he have 1 year left? I can't recall. I'll turn hitting, power, hit assist, incidental contact, and game speed all the way up. So basically, at that point, it functions like Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey from the good old days of the N64. Now, October prediction was different. Yeah, I had Devils and Stars back then. So I had somebody beating the Hurricanes early in the playoffs. Either way. Yeah. I don't know. I liked the momentum that Ottawa was carrying, and I thought they had enough weapons to overwhelm Carolina. But I mean, Ullmark played wicked good, but that was about it for them. I don't think they played a terrible series. I think that they were in a lot of that series, despite being only 4 games. But you know the Hurricanes, right? If they can get into Ron Brindamore hockey, they're going to be a tough out unless you're physically just going to manhandle them. And the Senators weren't really a team for that. Malkin is a free agent. Wow. It would be very odd seeing him in a different jersey. Yeah, Senators' power play was just crippled. Chance. You bought into the Ottawa propaganda as well. I didn't think anybody. I didn't even know that people were picking them to win that series. I was like, nope, something different is going to happen this year. Oh, well, kind of odd in the sense that there's no other hockey game to talk about here. I like Ben Kindle. I like Ben Kindle quite a bit too. He looks like somebody who's already been playing for about 4 years. I'm not a big Canes guy. I mean, the playoffs every year, their power play just looks awful. And if it looks good, they just can't finish. And I think that's going to catch up to them at some point. That's why going into round two, I said, okay, if the Hurricanes win against the Flyers, I still don't think they're going to get past the Canadiens in the Eastern Conference Final because that I said going into the second round if Montreal, Montreal's going to represent the Eastern Conference. Speaking of Canes, I don't think they have it in Canada, but I about a month ago had Raising Canes for the first time because we just got one in town here. I don't understand why they don't actually season their chicken or their French fries because it's very meh. At least when they served it to me, it was freshly made, so I give them credit there. But it's designed so that you have to dunk everything in the sauce, and the sauce is good. It's not great, but yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they don't actually use salt and pepper for stuff. Yeah, yeah, we just got Canes here. How about the new? Oh, there we go. That's a good topic. How about the new PWHL teams? Detroit, Hamilton, Vegas, and San Jose. Yeah, I'm looking forward to San Jose getting a team. That's great. And I'm curious to know what they decide to call the team too. Chick-fil-A is better than Canes. Castle Siege, what's going on? Thank you for joining us here. And I'm sorry the Stars fell short in these playoffs. I was very surprised by that. You'll have to let me know if you think there's going to be any sort of shakeup personnel-wise. Yeah, I'd say probably Chick-fil-A is better than Canes. We don't even have Chick-fil-A here, do we? I think we do in the Washington side of things. I don't know why people would line up for Chick-fil-A the way they do, but I would agree that it's better than Canes. At least the fries are certainly better. But yeah, BT, there you go. BT dropping some straight facts. Altogether, though, if you have to give me a fried chicken or a chicken fast food place, Popeyes is probably going to be my number one as well. Houston hot chicken, I don't know if everybody has that in the States, but Houston hot chicken is good. It's kind of pricey for what you get, but at least the chicken's pretty darn good. So Canes doesn't season any of their chicken. Yeah, I know. It's odd because it would taste pretty good. And it doesn't even need to be anything fancy. Just give me some salt and pepper, man. I've seen a video of a rat-infested Popeyes years ago. I haven't eaten at one since. Okay, well, I can't fault you for that. Yeah, Bay Area has got a WNBA team now, right? And they have professional soccer, I think. So good for the Bay Area. Your sister is named after Detroit's general manager. Really? That by design? You could start a PWHL early start covering them if they move to Chicago. Yeah, I want to see what the vibe is like for the Bay Area because people say, "Would you cover women's hockey?" And in this case, I don't know. I wouldn't say no if there was for lack of a better word, a lady sharks. Not like they're ever going to be called that, but like the hammerheads. That'd be dope. I had Hurricanes in 4 that series. I had no faith in Ottawa. Okay, well, smart picking, man. Our name was by design. Your dad is a huge hockey fan. It was funny because, like, when I first moved here, I think I met somebody whose brother or husband was named Darian after Darian Hatcher. Of all the names to pick, it's not a bad name. I'm just saying, like, I don't really know of anybody else named Darian. Darius, that could be a little different, but yeah. Wild Wolves and Frost all eliminated. Yeah, just that time of year for Minnesota sports, right? And then you got the Twins. I don't know how the soccer team is. Minneapolis will host the draft. All right. Yay. Although I got to say, I am looking forward to hopefully a healthy and productive defensive line with Caleb Banks and Big Citrus Dominique Orange. I think that's a great point. Yeah, we don't have anything like that out here, unfortunately. But I will be making fried chicken very soon here. No, I mean, not tonight, but next week. I am planning to make some good old fried chicken, hopefully soaked overnight in buttermilk. That's the way you got to do it. Cornflakes make a good breading, but so does Captain Crunch, as I've found out from old time hockey. Uh, Fritz and his good boys, Donnybrook and Chris Dricker. Castro Party Wings? You mean Costco? They don't have anything out here called Castro, at least not on the Idaho side. I'm already getting hungry. So the funny thing, Mason talking about Costco chicken wings, if they're the like mesquite chicken wings, I actually had an allergic reaction to one of those. I don't even have any food allergies, but I was watching a Super Bowl party at my friend's house, and the whole time it felt like my throat was like trying to like close up on me, and I couldn't like it was hurting so bad. I stuck it out till the end of the game, but on the way home, I was bent over driving, so I like hardly could keep my eye on the road. And this is when I'm in high school. And my parents, I come home, my parents are like, "Hey, how was the Super Bowl party?" And I'm like, "Hey, it was fun, but I feel like my throat's kind of closing up." And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna take you to the hospital." Anyway, we're underway with the second period. Castle Siege. Did you? Oh, you changed your picture. I was like, wait a second. We don't have two Dallas Stars fans in this chat, do we? All right, we're on to the second period. And am I running out of steam here? I might need some of that birria that we're having tonight. Kyler Murray is will definitely be running. Not sure if it will be the North. Hello from Nashville. All right. Speaking of good fried chicken, that is a great place to have some fried chicken, albeit very hot fried chicken. But I'm typically in the mood for that kind of thing. I like a little spice. I mean, shoot, I went there and I got the medium spice level, and I'm somebody who can handle some pretty good heat. My mouth was on fire instantly, but I was like, "This is so hot! Damn it, it is very tasty." Okay, let's see if the Sabres. What would probably benefit them is if they could maybe, I don't know, draw a penalty. Canadiens have been pretty disciplined so far, but the Sabres, they have some numbers here with the top line. Looking in front, saved there by the glove of Dobish. Well, BT, I'm probably the wrong person to answer that. I don't like, well, I don't like blue cheese, but yeah, ranch. I love ranch. I'm a fiend for ranch. The PK was rough. Yes, it was for both teams actually. Siege. That's your ranking for PA announcers. Well, you probably haven't heard a whole lot from the States here, but you could definitely you got Dallas in third. Yeah, a lot of people really like the Dallas broadcast. Detroit also always ranks really high. Nashville hot chicken is the best. Give me some hot chicken, and the next day I would take you up on some catfish. By the way, I've been drinking zero sugar cream soda, Dr. Pepper, which is surprisingly pretty good. High slot chance for Zucker. Oh, just put it wide. And Dobish able to seal off the post with his skate as Zucker and other Sabres were jamming at it. When we lost Hintz, the team just didn't look the same way. I still don't think that we got King Cal joining us here. Even so, I think that it's very disappointing that they couldn't win a round even without Hintz, just given all the weapons they have on that team. Only a matter of time before the Sabres score. You would think, but I mean, they were. Oh, sorry. I almost kicked over the camera there. One sec. Okay, it's good. Here, Cortana, have another treat, girl. But yeah, King Cal, it's good to have you here. I'm good. It's game 7. I can't complain about that at all. But I am very much looking forward to these conference final matchups, as I have a little bit of skin in the game here with Brent Burns for the Avalanche. And, I've liked the Hurricanes for quite some time. So, and here we go. There we go. The Sabres draw a high sticking. So they'll go to the power play. Oh, and the broadcast team is saying it's going to be a 4-minute double minor here to the Canadiens. I forgot Brent Burns was the Wild at one time. Yeah, I mean, he played there for quite some time, but I mean, the last time he played for Minnesota was like 15 years ago. Will I do at least one conference final stream? Let's just say I'm leaning toward yes. Things are always busy for me, but in terms of being able to make time for something like that, I think it's going to be more possible. Secretly, he's rooting for Hurdle. I mean, it's going to be very weird seeing Brent Burns going after Tomas Hurdle. Good old Charlie Coyle trade. That's exactly right. Charlie Coyle, Devin Setaguchi, and a first that became Zach Phillips, who I don't think ever played for the Wild, maybe in the preseason. Oh, the Premier League is just finishing up. Have you ever actually attended a match there? I've never seen EPL in person, but I've been to an Italian game many years ago. What happens with Jamie Benn? That's right. Yeah. Jake says we're rooting for Burnsy. Yeah, we're definitely Team Burnsy if we're Sharks fans. Plus, I mean, Burns has played for 2 decades. A shot from Dahlin doesn't quite get on net. Retrieved by Benson, but good support there by the Montreal defense. Cleared down by the Habs and pressured here by Demidov. Wow, Demidov is out there on the PK. Now with the loose puck, it's Thompson, and the Sabres are offside. Still kind of odd that Burnsy was on the Wild and they were using him incorrectly. Well, as I've found out, when he first joined the team, Jacques Lemaire actually converted him to defense. So he envisioned that pretty early on, and he would flip back and forth between defense and forward a little bit with them, and he even did that with the Sharks up until 2014 when they permanently moved him to defense. Italian soccer is incredible, and they love their football. Napoli is your favorite Italian team. Home of pizza too. Yeah, it took a while until I actually went somewhere that had good pizza just because, I wasn't planning the trip, so when you go to, like, tourist traps, you don't exactly get what you pay for, but, I did go to a pretty good pizza place in Pisa. Had some really good, steak in Florence and had some other very good meals, once you get off the beaten path a little bit. But, yeah, Bolduc actually had a, shorthanded chance there. Luukkonen's made some good saves in the clutch. You have to, tip your cap there so far. Darren's got a lot. He's going to be very busy with the off season. I mean, you got to get really creative with this off season, given that the free agency group is not very strong compared to previous years. But Guerin, you got to credit him for pulling the strings he did to get an elite defenseman. But now shoot, July 1st. That's the soonest they could extend Quinn Hughes. I like the pizza time thing from Spider-Man games. I don't know what when I think about video games and pizza, I think of Ninja Turtles. But I hear you. What a pretty dog! Oh, thank you. Here, Cortana, you get a treat for that. Somebody paid you a compliment. Don't bet beyond your means. Yeah, that's very important. We got Armageddon Death. All right, so we've got a couple of Nashville Predators fans, or at least those would be probably more partial to Smashville. And that Sabres power play, by the way, didn't really generate a whole lot. If anything, the Canadiens were a little bit more effective in that special teams situation. Montreal, of course, scoring the second goal of the game on the power play. Oops, no, I don't. No, turn it off. Yeah, no timer. No timer. StreamYard, you're on crack. You had. Oh shoot. Well, Trevor, I hope that that's not going to affect any of the utilities besides electricity. Chance here for Buffalo, and a nice block by, I think that was Hudson. Jack Quinn has come alive late in the series here for the Sabres. A shot from Darlene, lots of traffic in front. Blues finished well this season, even though you missed the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, for a team that had to sell a little bit at the trade deadline, they had a pretty decent year, all things considered. And now they've got what, like 3 first-round draft picks? I think the hotel's on backup power. All right, man. Well, hopefully you feel safe and secure in that building. Always expect to lose. Always bet what you're okay with losing. That's a great point, man. Oh yeah, and Alex Steen is now the general manager. I forgot about that. That got announced a long time ago too, right? What is the best food to watch hockey with? That's a great question. I mean, I'm not a huge like wings person, but you could do that. I mean, even chicken tenders. Alex Tuck to Owen Power, but that is going to be ruled offside. His edibles, as long as you are of age and live in a legal state. The first 6 minutes gone by here as we hit the commercial break. How's Jose doing? I actually haven't texted him in a while, but I should reach out. No, like updates on that front as far as I know, though. Thank you, Dean. I'll have to check in with him. Yeah, but I donated the money that we had raised here, so that's been securely transferred over to his GoFundMe. Um, yeah, Bennington definitely had a rough season for the Blues, but Hofer's been more or less pretty reliable, right? He actually played more games than Bennington. I didn't know that, but yeah, his numbers look good. I mean, a 909 save percentage these days, that's above average easily. And Snuggerud, I think he had a very productive season. Look at that, 21 goals and 30 assists. And even though the trade looked really lopsided in the other direction, Logan Mailloux made some good strides later in the season. 63? I'm not the oldest person here? Huh. All right. Well, good to have a Gen Xer joining us here. All right. Well, the Sabres haven't had a whole lot going just yet in this period. Power play was kind of disappointing to them. I thought that was going to be 4 minutes, but it was only 2. Predators stuck this season. Yeah, it was not as bad as the year before, but you you do have to wonder what direction this team wants to take. Right? Can they lean fully into developing a new prospect pool? What's going on, Deadly Flames? How we doing? That's a team that I think has done very well. The Flames, even though they haven't been like close to the playoff picture, last 2 years, I mean, they've been a tough out and have been coached well. I think. So if you're a Flames fan, I know it's tough right now, but I think that with this draft, it should definitely point them in the right direction. I think they should definitely probably go for a center, but I think it'll come together for them probably in a couple of years. You were alive when last time the Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup. Actually, yeah, that's true. All right, 15-12. The shots favor the Canadiens. And yeah, their defensive pressure, on the back check has been pretty strong for Montreal. And I don't want to say I'm running out of steam already, but I'm definitely getting hungry. You have to have some of that beer yet at intermission. Now here's Josh Norris. He's got. Oh, excuse me. That's shot from. Is that Tom? No, it's Jack Quinn's out there. I'm sorry. But the Sabres trying to manufacture some offense. Maybe an intermission, dear. Thank you. Is there somebody who I want the Sharks to draft it to? A slow step in progress. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a while until there's like a franchise defining player emerging for that franchise. So I feel you. For number 2 overall for the Sharks, I've been kind of leaning the direction of Stenberg, just because at least when you look at the rankings, I know I don't want to be a rankings, married to rankings, but there is that kind of like tiering where you have McKenna and Stenberg at the top, and then there's a bit of a drop off. My thought is like the Sharks could theoretically draft Stenberg, and then using the 20th overall pick that they have from the Oilers, they could package that together to move up in the draft and maybe go for somebody as high as like where Daxon Rudolph could fall. I would really like to see something like that. But if they get Chase Reed, I'm not going to be upset. I mean, at the end of the day, the Sharks moved up 7 spots. So I like whoever we get, I'll welcome them very warmly. Oh god, I will not be here during the draft. It's bullcrap that you know who won the whole freaking lottery. Yeah, it is. I feel for Canucks fans, especially. Yeah, 56 years and they've never picked first overall. Here, Cortana. All right, Matheson shipping this out. First 8 minutes gone by in this period. Benson. I thought that was going to be a one-timer, but I think Matheson got a piece of that. Exactly that poor fan base. Oh, come on. I mean, they're among the largest fan bases out there. They're going to have their bad apples. Oh, a breakaway for Josh Anderson. He skates in, and I don't know if Luukkonen got a piece of that. He's going to draw a penalty. And is that going to be a penalty shot? I see the official pointing towards center ice as Anderson was knocked down from behind, and Luukkonen made a great save as that shot was, I think, deflected off his glove or something and went over the net. Pardon me. So, yeah, Anderson slow to get up here behind the net. Let's take a look at this one more time. That was a great outlet pass, whoever did that. But Samuelson, yeah, just took a whack from behind here. He didn't mean anything malicious at all. But Anderson took a nasty spill into the goal from there. Looks like Samuelson got him kind of on the hip there. Ruthless Sharky joining us. Way to go, Captain Celebrini. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Sharks, and hopefully one of the first things we see is that Macklin, well, maybe it's not one of the first things. Maybe it's closer to training camp. But, I can't remember if Couture is going to be officially off the books. I know that he has 1 year left on his deal, but there might be a way for the Sharks to get out of that. But yeah, I hope that the Sharks can effortlessly transition to having a new official captain. So wait, that wasn't a penalty shot? Okay. What? Am I tripping here? Canada's team in the IHF is pretty good. Yeah, Team USA is not the best constructed one. They get the first pick just as soon as Matthews gets injured and has his worst year. And yeah, they went a decade or 9 straight years making the playoffs. All right, we got Fisherman Islanders joining us. All right, welcome. And congratulations to Matthew Schaefer on winning the Calder. What a great year for him. Now here comes Suzuki. Oh, nice save by Luukkonen, a little tip play in front, intended for Suzuki. Feeding the other way is Jason Zucker. Around the net, looking for Gooley. Takes a big hit from, couldn't see who that was. I don't think it was, no, it wasn't Don. It was Consta. I hear Hellenus. People are saying in the broadcast Hellenus. I thought it was Hellenius, but I could be wrong. USA has 0 players from Milan. Yeah, I thought so. Celebrating is one of your favorites. Yeah, man, I can't run out of things to say about him. It's been amazing seeing him make the jump that he did this past year. Malenstein, so the fourth line out, the Sabres worked out to the point. A shot wide of Dobish's glove, but chance off the rebound. And a good sliding save as Dobish does his best Marc-Andre Fleury Game 7 save. Proud of Schaefer. Yeah, I saw him receive that I think on the Today Show or Good Morning America. What a great moment. I mean, he's going to be. We talk about Celebrini, but Schaefer's going to be right up there among the faces of the NHL, or at least let's hope so, because he just seems like an incredibly likable young man. And we hit a commercial break with how much time we got left here? About 9:46. So we are officially past the halfway point in this game. Shots favor the Canadiens 16-13. Although the Sabres have the advantage in the face-off circle, 56%. And only one giveaway credited to Buffalo so far. Did Dangle actually use the words they deserved it? I mean, I would just laugh it off, man. I think it's unfortunate again that the Canucks didn't get the first overall pick, or even if the Rangers I don't know, maybe not the best example. Who else finished at the bottom of the standings? If the Blackhawks got no, never mind. Yeah, Vancouver really should have been the team to get first overall. Seattle, man, if Seattle won the draft lottery, that would have been probably good too. Because the Kraken, I don't know what the roadmap looks like for them, frankly. We have a lot of cap space. That's true. The thing, though, that you have to keep in mind, and it's great the salary cap is jumping up as much as it is, but a year from now, right? Celebrini, RFA, Will Smith, RFA, and there are probably a couple other guys I didn't mention. So you'll have to commit a lot in a year. Of course, you can sign Macklin as soon as July 1st this year to a deal, and I'd love to see that. But with how the cap is jumping up so far, his agent might not exactly want to explore that this early with Mike Grier, if you get what I mean. Does the NHL hate the Canucks? Sure seems like it. But, I mean, I think they did a nice job with what they received for Quinn Hughes. Should still be a pretty good player, number 3. That's true, too. I mean, I did say the same thing to Russell when I was on his channel, Nothing is Perfect, that, I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to get an important piece of your rebuild. Now it's up to you, right? Are you going to go try to get the best center in the draft, or are you going to get the best player available, and maybe that could be Stenberg. All right, here comes, I think that's Jake Evans, around the net. Kept in at the point briefly by the Canadiens, but Samuelson will regroup. Benson trying to shake it from Caulfield, hands it off to Byram at the dot. Sabres kind of passing up an opportunity to shoot there. Power working it back to Benson. He'll take it back from Benson. And now around the net. Looking out in front. Oh, they had somebody on the doorstep there, but tied up. Nice job by the Montreal defense. McKenna could be Yakupov. Now Doan at the top of the circle. Shot tipped in front, but not quite on net. But the cycle game for Buffalo is strong here. Here comes Josh Doan. He shoots. Lots of traffic in front. Off the rebound, and Dobish able to snatch that up with his glove off the attempt from Alex Tuck. Flames fans weren't happy we got 7. You mean 7th overall? Flames fans booed when it was the Maple Leafs getting first overall. Hey, wait a second. Have the Flames ever drafted first overall? If they did, it was probably early in their franchise's history, right? People on Canucks Discord didn't like Quinn Hughes as captain. Was Quinn Hughes a good captain? I mean, I don't think as somebody from the outside I can really gauge all that well. I thought that maybe he was a little bit young to be taking that on at the time. You need somebody, I think, who's got a little bit more snarl. But then again, I mean, I didn't think Barkov was going to be the guy leading the Panthers to a Stanley Cup, and he really did turn on his game in during that first run in 24 and 25. He played really well too. So maybe I probably don't know exactly what takes a good captain, but usually I think you have to have somebody who's not afraid to get to whether that's confront his own teammates or, you know, be the first to drop the gloves or the first to throw a chippy hit, right? It would be to the Flames' best interest. Then they would get a first instead of second for Anderson. That's true. Dean makes a good point. 7:29 left here in the second period. But yeah, it's crazy. Alex Tuch is a -9 in this series. He's had a pretty good game tonight, but he's a -9 and he doesn't have any points. You're okay, Cortana. Granted, the Sabres don't lean particularly on one line so much. They've got good overall balance to their lines, but that's just ugly. All right. Let's get the fourth line out there for the Sabres. Mallenstein trying to dig this out. And bobbling puck scooped up here by Krebs. Takes a hit from the defense. And Sabres still cycling out there with the fourth line. Top of the circle, sent in looking around the net for Greenway. Mallenstein, he's trying to center it for Krebs. Oh, they score! Buffalo's on the board. It's Matthias Samuelsson, and it's now 2-1.
Buffalo scores! He scores! Holy mackerel, roll the highlight film!
All right. This game ain't over yet. Matthias Samuelsson. I don't think anybody really knew where the puck was. Certainly Dobush didn't know because there were like 6 guys in front of the net there. Literally 6 guys in front of the net. Are you ready, Legion of Doom? Here come the Buffalo Sabres. I wish I could do an RJ. Rest in peace. The GOAT. The GOAT. All right, here you go, girl. And here I was thinking that Samuelsson was going to get called for was going to have a penalty credited to him and a penalty shot for the Canadiens, but I guess that never happened. Do we have a? Are they reviewing the goal? No. Tell me, GM Yzerman, when is the Yzerman or Yzer plan over? It's been frustrating. Yeah, really. I don't know what you do from there. Really, I don't. Are you guys happy with Gibson, or do you need to do something else? What's going to happen with Patrick Kane, right? All right, here is Bowen Byram. Oh, nice cross-ice pass, and just missing there at the dot. I couldn't see who pulled the trigger there for the Sabres, but that was a really good setup from Bowen Byram, who's had a really good playoffs. Dr. Doom in the building. What's going on? Thank you for hopping in here. And Patrick Hane's going to go to Buffalo. Now backtracking his power. Tuck. Working it around the net. So that goal comes from Matthias Samuelsson, assisted. I mean, that fourth line did themselves some yeoman's work cycling that puck. It was Matthias Samuelsson scoring from Beck Mellenstein and Jordan Greenway. And actually, Samuelsson has 4 goals in the playoffs. 1 or maybe 2 more seasons for Yzerman. I mean, it takes a long time to rebuild a team from scratch, but this is, with some of the expectations he set with some of the free agents he signed, time's got to be running out there. Won the President's Trophy and then missed the playoffs. Pretty mind-boggling. I'm trying to think if there was another team that did that in recent years. I can't recall, but I mean, it was kind of like that the whole season for the Jets. They just never got off to a good start. And great save by Luukkonen, by the way, off of Caulfield, or else we're looking at a 2-goal game again. You bought 100% in almost. I thought they would get into the playoffs this year, like from the jump. I had them go into the playoffs, and I was so close. But then March happened, and that wasn't fun for them. So we're going to hit another commercial break with 4:31 left in this period. So Samuelsson is 4th of the playoffs. And before then, Bolduc, 3rd of the playoffs, assisted by Suzuki and Hudson. And to know, that was his first goal of the playoffs. Wings generally start out so strong. Yeah, I mean, that's true. It wasn't the first time they've done it in this regime. Bruins from 2013 won the President's Trophy. They actually won the President's Trophy that year? Huh. Then they missed the playoffs you mean 2 years afterwards? Cortana, you're okay, girl. We'll hide Cortana unless she wants to get back into the bed. But I'll let her hang around it, even if she's not on camera. She can still hang out in this room, I suppose. Stop chanting the goaltender's name after you score 1 goal. You know, one thing that absolutely drives me nuts. I cannot stand it, especially in the playoffs. Like when a team scores a goal, they zoom in on the goaltender who gave up the goal. I cannot stand that. There's a question with Hellebuck too. Really, you mean in terms of like his performance, or is it more about like his health? Go Canes and Spurs. Anyone but the Golden Knights and the Thunder. I mean, I'm not going to cry if the Thunder beat the Spurs, because the Spurs have won like what 5 or 6 titles in my lifetime. But shoot, wait, the Knicks are still in it, right? They haven't won a championship in my lifetime, so I guess I'd be okay with them winning. Not that I care about the NBA right now. Just bring back the Supersonics. That's all I ask. And I guess Egginator, I understand why you would not want the Thunder now that I put 2 and 2 together there. Yeah, especially when it's a goal resulting from a terrible defense. Exactly. That's exactly my thought. Yeah, Knicks are in. Okay, got it. All right, we have a whistle right now. 3:40 left in the period. And then I might get myself some birria. Of course, that's probably one of the messier things that I could be eating on a stream, but I'll mute my microphone. But I am definitely hungry. Oh, okay. I gotcha. So here is Hudson and Dobson trying to chip this out of the zone. Yeah, I agree, PT. What about Austin Matthews? That's true, yeah. Although Austin Matthews, I mean, I don't know about Embiid on the international stage, but you got to credit Matthews. Oh, nearly a chance for Hellenes. He would have had a good look at the net right there. But yeah, at least Austin Matthews has captained a gold medal team at the Olympics. So, got to show some love for that. Sabres chip it in. Carrier trying to get this out of the zone, but a good check from Zucker. Now chipped in by Evans. Demidov able to move that around the net, but scooped up by a Buffalo defender. And Samuelson, one of the goals tonight. Nice save there by Dobish off of Peyton Krebs. But it was that fourth line that was producing the first goal of the game for the Sabres. Hey, Matthews has won 2 playoff series. He's gotten to the second round before. Maybe a chance here. Here comes Malenstein, who had the helper on that goal. Around it goes. I see 21 for Buffalo, and I want to say it's Okposo, but it's somebody else. It's Connor Timmins. A shot there that Luukkonen gets a piece of off the stick of Slafkovsky. Now under 2 minutes. Turned over by Hudson to Power. Gaining the zone is McLeod. Now Tuck working it around the net. This goes all the way out to the very top of the zone on the other side. Maybe a chance here. A shot and wide of the glove there by Josh Doan. We'll funnel this back to Power. Little back pass to Dahlin. Shot, lots of traffic in front of the net. Doesn't quite get on goal. The Sabres threatening here as we get down to 1 minute left in the second period. A chance for Tuck now, and another whack at it by Tuck. And Dobich able to stay strong in the net. As Dahlin's going to regroup here with Doan. Tuck one more time. Centering pass for McLeod, and it doesn't quite trickle through the pads of Dobich. He'll cover up with 49 seconds left. Well, that's true. Yeah, it is easier for one player to carry a team in basketball. But yeah, some good chances for the Sabres. And hopefully for them, they take some momentum into the locker room because they've been on the attack. Where's my water? Okay. Chipped out of the zone by the Canadiens. Back onto the stick of Bowen Byram. Norris down the side. A chance. Dobish, big sprawling pad save. It's a loose puck in front of the crease. Still no whistle. And finally, play is blown dead. But Dobish, what an incredible pad save there. I got to see who he robbed. But, I mean, that's definitely a call of cop. He robbed him right there. We got Trent Lopez in the building. What's going on? Rocking the Desert Dog. Well, let's take a look at that save there. Was that Thompson who got robbed? Actually, really, he just kind of shot it into the midsection of Dobish, but the sprawling action right there was pretty great. Carey Price would definitely approve. Speaking of which, how did Carey Price not get in as a first ballot Hall of Famer? I find that kind of surprising, even though he never won a Stanley Cup. I mean, Carey freaking Price has the franchise record for wins. All right, 31.7 seconds left. Sabres now with 20 shots on goal to 18 for the Canadiens. It'll be Josh Norris trying to win this faceoff, but it's controlled by Montreal. Here comes Jake Evans, just a soft chip behind the Buffalo net. Power. He scoots it over to Thompson. And Tage able to deke around and get a pad save there from Dobish. In front of the net now, Norris down to 5 seconds. They've still got it behind the net now out in front. Sticks tying up the Buffalo attack. And we go into the intermission with the Sabres now just one goal away from tying things up on a goal from Matthias Samuelsson. Now, guys, I'm going to have to step out for just a little bit to pee and to get some birria after that. So I will take it back here, though. I won't be away for more than just a couple minutes. So if you could be so kind to watch Cortana for me. Okay, hopefully Cortana didn't get into too much trouble there. Chris Webber, Mike Bibby, and Peja Stojakovic. Hey, don't forget Hito Turkoglu, right? And Vlade Divac. All right. You guys, you won't believe this. We've got some homemade birria, courtesy of Mrs. Twister. Take a look at this, guys. Like this looks restaurant quality right here. Look at that. Boom. We got some birria with slow cooked beef. We even got the little brothy consomme. And one thing that I absolutely love and that's chimichurri. All right. So I gotta definitely dip into this a little bit while we're hanging out at intermission. So don't worry, I won't. I might mute my microphone or something, just so that it's not too obnoxious. But yeah, I think we're gonna get a pretty intense third period there in just a little bit. So yeah, I'll just be chilling. All right, let's give this a try. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There we go. All right. Well, what do you guys think? Can the Sabres force overtime, or is this going to be decided in regulation? Mm. Mm. Yo, this is really good. Well, what right now, if anybody's curious about basketball, the Spurs have a 44-37 lead in the second quarter against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Wow, it's looking like a normal playoff basketball game. They're not scoring like 165 points. Especially with chimichurri. I don't know how that combo is going to be, but we'll see. Mhm. Yeah, I could eat this probably about 4 times a week. This is pretty good. Would I get back into the NBA when the Sonics come back? I'd like to think so. I don't know if I'll be as enthusiastic as I was when I was younger, but, I would definitely, especially when they first come back, I'd probably have some excitement around that. Albeit, I would expect them not to be all that good just because, expansion teams, for the most part, don't do so well. But then again, I mean, when the Warriors started turning things around, even before Steve Kerr got there, when, Draymond Green first came over and Mark Jackson was still the coach. I mean, I started watching them more, during that time. Uh, do I cook? I do. I'm not, like, remarkably skilled or anything close to that, but excuse me, I'm pretty good on the grill, I think. But yeah, my fiance made all this, and she did such a good job. But yeah, I do enjoy cooking quite a bit. What about yourself? You didn't cheer for Utah in the playoffs. I guess that's not too surprising. You're a cook by trade. Oh, man. That's awesome. So you actually went to school for that? Do you have, like, a certain specialty? You know, like, some people are trained as pastry chefs or others are pit masters and able to smoke meats. I mean, really, if I could kinda go back and redo life, I'd love to have started cooking at a younger age. I did a lot of baking when I was a kid. So, I mean, like, every now and then, I'll make some cookies or bake a pie, but, yeah, Mrs. Twister usually does I think she's probably got the majority of the cooking in our household, albeit, she actually makes Cortana's food too. But, yeah, especially this time of year, I'll definitely get out there with, it's not a very fancy grill, but we've got a Weber, propane grill, and we also have a flat top as well. So yeah, I do like, anything that involves preparing meats quite a bit. Yeah, it's all about, how do you make something taste good that doesn't require a lot of time? There are a lot of ways to do it, but you still have to, like, commit yourself mentally to, how you prepare something, right? Because, like, I want fried chicken tomorrow night. Oh, shoot, I better let it, soak in buttermilk overnight, right? So you gotta be a little ahead of the game for what you're gonna do if you're gonna do it from scratch. And the worst part is the cleanup, yeah. I mean, I don't mind doing the whole thing where one person handles the cooking, the other person handles the cleaning. That can be a good partnership that way. And great voltage. What's going on? I appreciate you joining us. I hope that the off season is treating you well so far, and that you're able to enjoy your playoffs. What percentage would I put on Greer selecting a defenseman at the draft? I mean, I've been saying I'm leaning toward them selecting the best player available because he was quoted saying that at the draft lottery. Could he could he actually rank a defenseman higher and pick that? I could see that happening. But if I gave it a percentage right now, I'd say I'd say it's gonna be more like it's gonna be like 60-40. So 60% he'll go for Stenberg, or if McKenna falls, they'll draft that. But I'd still say I'm not thinking that he's definitely gonna go Stenberg versus Schaefer or Schaefer. Chase Reed. Why was I was thinking of Reed Schaefer. It's all right. Kachuk wants out, starting that up like always. I mean, how big of a loss would that really be? I know that they'd be missing their captain, but you do have a pretty talented roster. At least I think so. It wouldn't be catastrophic, but you obviously gotta get something suitable in return for that too. You can't just trade him for the sake of trading him. You're not a Stanley Cup favorite, and it seems unthinkable to pass on McKinnon or Stenberg. I mean, I don't think anybody expects, like, unless you're writing an article and just trying to sound different. I don't really think anybody's expecting you know McKenna to even fall to second. Oh, delicious beer, yeah, so good. Jake Sanderson, the pride of Whitefish, Montana. The Derek Plant? What? I don't think I know what goal that was actually. Didn't have Zubin. Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember Sanderson, but yeah, having Zub out, it's for the Senators. It came down to them not being able to bury chances, especially on the power play. But you know, what does a defenseman do? A defenseman doesn't just keep the puck out of the net; they also help get the puck out of the zone too. So I could see where that could have been a factor. Yeah, the Sabres came on pretty strongly as that period went on. Um, yeah, so far I think just one power play for each team. So this is just kind of coming down to who's willing to work the hardest for the buck, I guess. Man, this is so tasty. I think I need like double the order. It's so good. Come on, chimichurri. So, but the Kings haven't said anything about them retiring his jersey yet, right? They haven't like scheduled that, or are you guys thinking that it could be next year? I mean, the Kings already had a statue of Dustin Brown out like immediately when he retired, which was kind of surprising. I mean, he was the captain for the two teams, but I guess if you're willing to get that out of the way for Brown, then for a Hall of Famer who leads your franchise all time in points, that would only make sense. You got more? Oh my god, you're the best. I'll take one more. Unamas. These are so good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. The Derek Plant goal is the Legion do. Oh, okay, okay. I remember Dustin Penner too when he played for the Kings. That is a name. That's a bit of a throwback. What about Brad Richardson or Wayne Simmons? Actually, right? The Wing Train. Kopitar was underrated. Yeah, I mean he was kind of like a West Coast Bergeron, right? Dustin Penner is a playoff warrior. There was another guy who was a playoff warrior who actually has the nickname Mr. Game 7, if you remember who that is. Yeah, I think Urban, if I have won a lifetime supply of birria tacos, especially with homemade chimichurri, I do consider myself the richest man in the world. That's right, Justin Williams. And then Wayne Simmons went to Philly in the Mike Richards deal. Yeah. Why did the Kings not trade Kopitar? I guess the only time they would have thought about that was, I don't know, maybe when he had kind of a lull in his career after the 2014 run. They didn't win a single playoff series. I mean, it was just because while Kopitar was still leading the team to get there, they just didn't have they haven't had enough top end talent really. The Hamburglar, Jarrett Stoll. Yeah. Oh God, I always think of Rafi. I think it was Rafi Torres who took out Jarrett Stoll in the playoffs. All right, third period underway. Birria taco in hand. Let's do this. Third early. All right. Yeah, he was a goalie for the Sens. Yeah, I do remember him having that little hot streak there. What was super good for the Senators that he'll never be, like, anywhere in the Hall of Fame conversation, but Craig Anderson, when he was on, he was at least he was like a top 5 goalie in the NHL. He was amazing. They were just showing a graphic, a chart of all the Sabres shots in the previous period. A lot of those are from down low. A lot of them. Oh, whoa. In 2020? Oh, I don't recall that. Wade Redden. How about Radek Bonk? Radek Bonk, let's go. When I would play like NHL 2K4 or something like that, I actually played as the Senators a lot because they had so many fun weapons on that team. Mm, it's hard to go nowhere, and plus, I think Kobe wanted to retire with the Kings. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think didn't he? Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he live there like even before he was drafted? I can't remember. I couldn't remember if he like moved from Slovenia when he was younger. Razor, yeah. Rest in peace, Ray Emery, of course. Uh, oh, by the way, the Sabres are going to get a power play, I think. It's going to be a high sticking call to Philip Deneau as he got that stick up on Matthias Samuelsson. Oh, Danny Healy. Yeah, Danny Healy, he played 2 seasons with the Sharks. The first season he came over, I went to a bunch of the games, and it seemed like he had a hat trick in at least 2 of them. He was a lot of fun to watch initially, and he had some really good moments in the playoffs too. All right, Thompson, top of the circle. In the slot, Quinn, saved by Dobish. Yeah, Martin Havlat also played for the Sharks. He was always injured, though. I think the one time Havlat scored a goal, and I had guessed that he would be the first person to score a goal that game. So I got free tickets to a Sharks game. All right, now Darlene, skating it all the way down. Met by 2 penalty killers. Gooley from behind the net. He takes down Zucker, and the Canadiens get a clear. Was he that good, or was he benefiting from Joe Thornton? I mean, I think he was. He was up there, but I mean, with Jumbo, you always got a bit of a boost when you first joined his line, like Jonathan Juju or Brent Burns when he played forward. New Hook, able to chew up some more time here. Just 25 seconds left on the Sabres power play. Happy retirement for Trevor Lewis. Was he on both Cup teams? I know that he was on at least one of them. So now down to 10 seconds in the power play, and the Canadiens are going to clear this down. Yeah, yeah. And Healy and Havlat both played for the Wild, too. Here we go. Oops. Yeah, Cortana. Soft hands, girl. One timer. Gobish might have gotten a piece of that. Still in the Montreal zone here, but the fourth line grinding it out for the Sabres. There's a good catch by Cortana. Yeah, he was on both cups. Okay, I thought he was. Ehrhoff, who rode the coattails a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. For a while there, I it wasn't that he was a bad player. It's just that I don't know. as a younger Sharks fan, he was somebody who just seemed to kind of shoot the team in the foot once in a while. So Sabres, I think they iced the puck just now. The first 4:28 gone by. The third period. Wow, he had 2 50-goal seasons with the Senators. Oh, Darlene, I thought he was going to score there. So much chaos in front of the net with Josh Morris. And Deneau able to get this clear. But the Canadiens are on their heels a little bit here. Here comes Jack Quinn. And a sea of Canadian sticks able to break that up. But Buffalo able to hold the zone. Now Hudson. Can't quite get that clear either. Good pressure by Constellanius. Now skating the other way is Matheson, handing it off to Newhook, and maybe getting a piece of that was Luukkonen. Good interception there at the top of the zone by somebody in white. Handed back to Matheson. He shoots. Oh, and that was up. That took a hard bounce off the end boards. And he's got it again. He'll try. And Newhook trying to get a tip on that. Just the tip. And Suzuki funneling it around for Demidov, who's been I don't want to say he's having a bad game, but he's been kind of quiet. Consta Hellenis. Oh, and a back pass, and not quite getting that on net was Byram. Just entertaining watching this and relaxing. Oh my, Dobich gets put down to the ice by Zucker. And he is on his back. Jeez. How did they not score there? They got Dobish. I didn't know that shot from the point had actually hit the crossbar. Jeez. Road teams winning more than the home playoffs. I think you're right. I think that over the last several years, we've definitely seen road teams succeed more. I mean, a lot of teams actually win the Stanley Cup on the road. And we got Lautaro joining us. Yo, check this out. My fiance just made some chimichurri and some birria tacos. Oh my gosh, that was so good. I'll have to figure out how I can convince her to cook that in like 3 days again. That was so good. That looked like it was going in. I mean, the Sabres, even if they were to fall in this game, you can't say it's for a lack of effort. They've stepped on the gas here. We got Jimmy Meyer hanging out in the building. Hey there. Good evening to you, and I hope you're enjoying the playoffs. But the question is, would you be more satisfied by the Sabres, who beat the Bruins in the first round, moving on to the next, or would you prefer, or would you prefer the Canadiens? But I think I know the answer to that. It is Excelente. That's BS if it's not called on Zucker. Yeah, Jumbo had a long career, like 25 years just about. We're going for the Sabres. That's fair. How is that not a penalty? I have no idea. Unless he got pushed into the goaltender, but even so, that's way too much contact, I think. Excuse me. It's tough for you to say anything nice about Jumbo. Jumbo was, I mean, he knew how to get away with some stuff. Yeah, I don't know how that didn't get called. I was surprised the Bruins made the playoffs. Yeah, not really shocked you weren't going to go anywhere. Yeah, that's completely fair. But hey, good for a season for Marco Sturm because I don't think that he exactly had a playoff roster on that team. But when you had Swayman bouncing back, that helped a ton. Okay, here's Owen Power. He's got a shooting lane. One timer, they score! Darlene on the board, and it's a tie game.
Buffalo scores! He scores! Holy mackerel, roll the highlight film!
The captain gets on the board as the Sabres have knotted things up at 2. Don't go anywhere, Twisters. He was pushed in by Suzuki. I didn't even think there was that much contact going into it, but I could be wrong. Chimichurri with Asado, of course. Yeah, one of the most glorious things about our country. Well said. Geeky, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I remember writing an article about Geeky like 5 years ago when he got drafted by the Kraken in the expansion draft. And I didn't have like a whole lot to say about his NHL career because he didn't play a whole lot for the Carolina Hurricanes. I mean, like he had some really good fundamentals in junior, but yeah, then he gets traded to Boston, and he's just explosive. Now Slavkovsky, and did he hit the post? He almost scored there too. Darlene deserves this. I mean, he's been through a whole lot, not just as a player, but you think about what happened with his wife earlier this year, and that would be a great story for sure. What's happy? I have Joe Thornton's jersey with the Bruins, even though he didn't stay too long with them. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's still even kind of weird that Jumbo had all those seasons with Boston. Not to mention, initially he wore, I think, number 6. But it seems like the fan base, even though things didn't work out so much with executive leadership with the Bruins and Thornton, it seemed like the fans generally appreciated his services there. Oh, now do you believe? Do we have any Mexicans in the chat? Any Latinos? I mean, like Central American? Actually, no. I think Mexico still counts as North America. Anyway. Now, Deneau trying to get another goal. And a good breakout here from the Sabres. I kind of like what I'm seeing with this line with Consta Helenius. He shoots in a save by the pad of Dobish. And you enjoyed Patrice Bergeron. Yeah, I mean, shoot, I'm surprised that he hasn't had his number retired, but that's going to come very soon. And so should his induction into the Hall of Fame. What a game. Cortana, easy now. Oh wait, she's back, but she's grooming herself, and it's a real sight. Do you want a treat, girl? Treat. There we go. Oh, can you not believe in Rasmus Dahlin? Oh no. Well, that escaped you quite a bit. Here, girl. Here, go lie down. Can you go lie down? Yeah, that does count. Here you go. Whoop. Good girl. All right, Sabres threatening some more. Here comes Samuelson. And he gets tripped up. Are we going to get a call for that? No. Timmins. And now Ryan McLeod. He's going to try to. Oh, nice little spin away from Demidov. Glove down and finally cleared by the Canadiens as the Sabres keep attacking in waves. In waves, in waves. How long do I think Nathan Horton would still be playing if not for the injury? I can't answer that because I wasn't really following the NHL as closely back then. So I honestly don't know. Well, what about Mark Savard for that matter, too? I know he was further along in his career, but he was still playing at a very high level. All right, here comes Suzuki. Really interesting floating pass back to the point for Matheson. Down to the goal line, a shot. Luukkonen able to cover up. What a series, yeah. Yeah, the Atlantic side of the bracket has had some very good drawn out series. All right, pucks behind the Canadiens net. A shot from the point. Dobish able to see through the traffic, and they got an early whistle because knocking it in was Malenstein. And yeah, the Canadiens catch a break here. Better series than Cavs versus Pistons. Oh, I don't follow the NBA right now, so I can't say. The NHL didn't allow the Sabres to wear their black jerseys. Well, they just have to pay a fine if they do that. So they were rumored to consider it for tonight, but that's it. Uh, yeah, a whistle. Are you kidding me? That was an early whistle. It looked like Tim Thomas is like not much talked about. I think that at least in general, even though he's not like, even though he didn't have the longevity that somebody like Tuukka Rask did, his prime was as good as anybody else who made the Hall of Fame out of that era, right? Prime Tim Thomas was up there with prime Jonathan Quick, even prime Henrik Lundqvist. Tim Thomas had an unbelievable run in the 2011 Cup year. The NBA season can be really summed up by knowing how many games Oklahoma City will win the finals by. So they're that much better, huh? I mean, I got to shout out Jalen Williams, who went to my college. So yay! But that's about it. That's as much as I know about the Thunder. I used to watch them a little bit though when they had their big three of. It's a commercial, by the way. They had Durant, Harden, and Westbrook. Not to mention, I liked Serge Ibaka quite a bit too. Yeah, we're just showing more replays of that early whistle. That was. I mean, I understand why play was blown dead that quickly, but it could make a difference. Now the Sabres have outshot Montreal, or at least shot attempts. Favor the Sabres by almost a 2-1 margin. Jalen Williams hasn't played much in the season. Oh, that's too bad. The Buffalo would get screwed by something that would happen. I mean, I believe that you said that. And now Tom McDonough's even bringing back the Brett Hull controversy of 1999, which, at least in terms of my interpretation, it was actually a legal goal based on the actual the way the rules were described. Controversial, to say the least, though. So let's see if the Sabres can keep up the pressure. But right now, the Canadiens have a clean possession. Demidov shot off the end boards. Now Evans. He has to regain the zone. Here comes Newhook. Not to be confused with the old Hook. Chance it in the slot there for Newhook. He couldn't quite settle it. But he'll shoot it anyway. It goes wide. Scooped up by Gooley. Oh, looking down low, and a nice pass breakup there by the Buffalo defense. Otherwise, that could have been very interesting. And now here comes Lane Hudson. He'll flip it into the Buffalo corner. Moved ahead, though, by the Sabres. Alex Tuch. Now, wait a second. What was the who had the assists on the last play? We're still on Alex Tuch point watch. Oh, nice move by Byram to dance around the defender. He comes in. Byram trying to chip it over the glove of Dobish. It goes out of play. So that last goal from Dahlin, his fourth of the playoffs. So Dahlin and Samuelsson have combined for 8 goals in these playoffs. How about that? And the assists go to Power. Owen Power's got 6 assists. And Ryan McLeod getting a helper as well. We've never had a player in the NHL, at least not until now. One can dream. Yeah, I don't think we've had any players from South America, I don't think. Unless somebody was born there. Mark Kastelik is the most underrated player for the Bruins. Wait, do they? I always forget. Do they have Husnudinov? I like him. Oh, chance in front, and Dobish covering up as Hellenius gets denied. True, Buffalo and Minnesota are two very similar cities close to the border, especially Buffalo, covered with snow, and they're a little cursed. All right, Canadiens able to get the clear. And now battle in the neutral zone. Deneau can't quite get a handle on this puck. And finally, it's settled by Mike Matheson. Yeah, down to 7:40 here in regulation. Yep, that's exactly right, BT. You would know. And they get to play each other on Monday Night Football this upcoming season. That should be pretty entertaining. All right. Cycling are the Habs. Out at the point for Hudson. He'll float one to the net, knocked down. Happy Sabres fan. Hey, welcome back. Wow, pretty great game, huh? And it looks like you guys should have been credited the go-ahead goal. Oh, wait, why do I have BRB in my banner still? My bad. All right, fourth line out there for the Sabres. Malenstein collides with Hudson behind the net. A lot of bodies flying around back there. Work back toward the point. Shot and doesn't quite trickle into the crease. Byram trying to keep things alive, and instead it's skated ahead by Hudson, trying to hand it off to Slavkovsky. Thompson comes over the boards, and settling it down is Hudson. And oh my goodness, that was an interesting play there as I was looking to translate Lautaro's message, and then he actually wrote a translation. Happy Sabres fan, you guys are getting screwed again. They blew the whistle before the goal was scored. 6:16 left in regulation. And of course, if we go to overtime, we gotta get everybody's predictions on who's gonna have the series winner. But hold on to those predictions just for now, and then I'll definitely get myself a cerveza. Here comes Demidov. Good back check in support by Tuck. Sabres get the clear. I'm much happier with the Sabres than the Bills. I think that's fair. I mean, right now the Sabres gave you something that you probably didn't expect heading into this season. Not that it wasn't long overdue, of course. Pardon me. And I mean, we kind of forget that the Bills got almost, what, 2 decades without a playoff appearance? All right. Deneau. Behind the goal. The puck finds Matheson. Works it around. But the Sabres defense is tenacious. Skated out by McLeod. Here he comes against Deneau. Michael McLeod waiting for the trailer. A deke. Dahlin and a save by Dobich. He'll cover up with 5:05 left. Most underrated Sharks player in history. Even though I didn't get to really watch him, if you ask a lot of Sharks fans who were there over the years, I think Mike Ricci would be toward the top of that list. I think somebody else who was underrated was Justin Braun. When he was paired with Marc-Edouard Vlasic, that was a very very potent defense, not offensively, but in their own zone. Um, yeah, I think that those would probably be 2 players that I'd start with. Some of the WWE Sharks as a wrestler, oh, I can't do that because I don't follow wrestling. A lot of people here do. I've learned. It's interesting. Nabokov, I wouldn't say underrated. Um, in the playoffs, he did falter a little more, but prime Nabokov was awesome. Not Hall of Fame, but like he's Hall of very good. One year, I think he finished what? I think one year he was Vezina runner up, but he finished in the Hart Trophy conversation too. No, not as a finalist, but yeah, Nabokov in his best year. First of all, he won 353 games. That's a hell of a lot. Yeah, one season he was 7th for the Hart. But right there with Joe Thornton, my favorite Shark of all time is Yevgeny Nabokov. Vincent Domphus was a player that I don't think gets talked about enough either. He didn't play a whole lot for the Sharks, but he was still performing at a pretty high level. As we got to the early 2000s there. Dahlin one-timer and his stick shatters in two. Still alive as Slavkovsky trying to evade a very tenacious Zach Benson. Martin Jones, I'll always have a soft spot for Joner. Oh, you know, we signed him to this contract and then his game just went in the tank. But he delivered some awesome moments for us, especially in the playoffs. So I'll always like Joner. Draft lottery, yes or no? At least for me, big time yes. I love Hasek for the Sabres. Yeah, I didn't pull the jersey out, but I do have. It's an Adidas jersey. It's not like an old one, but I do have a white Sabres away jersey. It's got Hasek customized on it. What was I going through mentally in the 2014 playoffs? I've honestly I've blocked out a lot of that myself, but yeah, it wasn't so much like anger. It was just more like, really? That's what you guys chose to do with this opportunity? Really? And for a lot of fans, that turned them off of the Sharks. And it really did. A lot of people, I think, hopped off the Sharks wagon because of that. I went to game 2, which, the Sharks won the first 3 games of that series. Sharks won that game 7-2. So I thought that they were going to absolutely steamroll LA. So it ain't my fault. Oh my, Dahlin just sending that one out of play, but still threatening the Sabres are with 3 minutes left. Your favorite is Patty Marleau. I mean, Marleau was a very consistent player, and I think that he pretty much embodied being a professional athlete, really. And I remember the bat and the fog in '75. Wow, you were around for that? How weird to be at a game like that where you can't even see more than half the time. A chance for Josh Anderson and Luukkonen able to keep that out of the net with a little help from his defense. Oh, wow. Thompson. I mean, that must have been a pretty surprising appearance for the Sabres to reach the final in just their 5th year. Little Joe, yeah. I didn't appreciate Joe Pavelski enough, to be honest. And then I saw what he did with Dallas, and I'm like, damn, he was doing this for us for a long time. And, when you talk about the greatest players to ever put on a jersey for the Sharks, yeah, sure, Thornton's probably number 1, but I mean, Celebrini will take that over pretty soon here. Wait, is Greenway? Does he have a chance? He back passes it, bobbling puck. And the Sabres still have a hold of this. Mallenstein, a shot, and doesn't quite get through. Krebs was looking for the tip, or at least creating some traffic in front of the net. Anyone's favorite Shark is Evander Kane. Very, very, very few. Hey, Kane was a good Shark. I'm not gonna deny that just because of how things ended with the team. But he was very good when he had some injury problems, but there were times when he was the only guy producing out there for them. But yeah, after Jumbo, Pavelski's in the conversation for the next best Shark. He's in there with Marleau. He's in there with Brent Burns. Logan Couture as an outsider is your favorite, and Couture is probably the greatest playoff performer for San Jose. He was always rose. He always took his game a level higher. He deserved a better ending. Yeah, he did. He did. But he was a big reason why the Stars were able to get to that final in 2020. They weren't supposed to be anywhere near the final that year. Anyway, we've got I think, is that an icing to the Sabres with 51 seconds left in regulation here. Game 7 overtime, guys. There is nothing like it, right? All right, Thompson, chipping it in behind the Canadiens' net. Now this loose puck, Texier can't quite handle it. Benson, and the Sabres will chip it in once more, down to 20 seconds. Kelly Rudy was a king. Yeah, Kelly Rudy was a shark too. Chipped out of the zone by the Canadiens. Texier can't quite get by Samuelson. We're down to 10 seconds. And it looks like the Sabres are just going to kind of rag the puck here. As ladies and gentlemen, Game 7, we are going to overtime. And I will definitely get myself a beer for this. So hold tight, guys. I'll be right back. Because it's Game 7, we'll go to like 5 overtimes. Yeah, please no. I'd like to have just a moment of my evening back so I can cuddle Cortana and thank Mrs. Twister for these amazing birria tacos. So I'll be right back, guys, okay? Uh, All right, fellas. Now what we got to do here is, since we're going to overtime, we need everybody's prediction on which player is going to have the overtime winner. Tage Thompson. So Dean has. The question is, do you only pick one player total, or do you pick one per team? Well, we can do one per team. I'm going to say Canadiens. I'll go with. I don't want to just pick like the top goal scorer. Hudson. There we go. That's pretty good. I'm going to go with. Who do I want to pick for Montreal? Why not? I'll go a little bit off the beaten path. One player that was a king, and not sure when that happened or what happened, was Lubomir Visnovsky. I remember the name. Yeah. Did he also play for? Did he also play for the Ducks, or was that a different ski? Lubomir Visnovsky. Yeah, he was a king. Oh, he played for Anaheim a little bit too. That's right. Nothing greater than overtime of Game 7. Here. Alex Tuck. Yeah, Tuck. Tuck's been having himself a very noticeable game. I mean, it's just hasn't been able to get anything to go. Or Jake Evans. Yeah, Jake Evans is an interesting pick. Lane Hudson's about to remind everybody why he won the Calder. You're gonna go. You're gonna say the Canadiens get the overtime winner. All-time favorite Game 7 would be 2013 second round between the Blackhawks and Red Wings. Brent Seabrook ends the series. I don't think Brent Seabrook had too many overtime goals in his career, but when it comes against the Red Wings, you will always be remembered for that. Let's see here. When was the last time? Oh, yeah. I was thinking, when was the last time we had an overtime game 7 in the playoffs? Because when the Jets and Blues played last year, that was that decided in overtime or was that decided in regulation? I can't remember. I think actually, yeah, it was probably overtime. J.S. Giguère, who won a Conn Smythe and he won a Stanley Cup, but different playoff runs. Brent Seabrook had 3 over 2. Really? That's pretty substantial for somebody who I thought was just more of a shutdown defenseman. Whoa. 2015-16, he had 14 goals. That's a pretty high amount for a defenseman. Yeah, I mean, shit looks like it. Oh, I mean, at this point, though, I'm just like, I really hope somebody ends this pretty quickly. Not because I don't enjoy your company. You know, you just get tired after talking for almost 3 straight hours. We've got Transit Fan Jacob. Welcome. Good evening to you, and I hope you are able to breathe easily because, man, this is a heart racing game 7 that we have here. One of his overtime winners was in the 20. Really? Shoot. I did not have much familiarity with his game then. Man, this is crazy. They're showing how much rest the Hurricanes have had. Yes, sir. Irvin, what's going on? From Windy City, that is. Oh, wait. Huh? Allée des Canadiens de Montréal. I'm so confused right now, Irvin. Wait, did I make Irvin a mod here? Nick's been a mod. Windy City Hockey's been a mod here for like 3 or 4 years. At least. No, probably like 6. Injuries destroyed Korea's career. I find it so unbelievable. I mean, like, I obviously believe when he says this. It's unfathomable that not only did he score that goal, I forget what game was it. Was it game 6 against the Devils after the hit from Stevens? It's just unbelievable. Like, he doesn't even remember scoring that. Imagine that if you were totally, you know, basically blacked out and you delivered, like, the greatest moment in your franchise's history, right? We got Tommy Boy. Once again, what's going on? Always hyped for Game 7 overtime. Yeah, you joined us at the right time. When will, Russ be back? Nothing is perfect, right, Russ? I'm not sure. I have not, had any guests during the playoffs, but I haven't done much for the playoffs myself. Russ is always invited on the channel, though. It's always an open invitation for him. Game 7. Yes. That was, Burrows, I wanna say? And you know what, though, Irvin, I mean, shoot, I'm in the same camp as you. That's our Stanley Cup as well. We have one over Game 7 overtime to our, resume as well. It's been so amazing regardless to see Buffalo happy again. Hey, that's a great point, man. You know, I'm sure that most of the Sabres fans out there are just happy that they've, that they've gotten back into the playoffs, and I'm sure a lot of them have never even gotten a chance to watch that team in the playoffs. The very rare third intermission we are in. Buffalo is a franchise that every other fan base wants to succeed. However, I will say though that if the Canadiens win this, I will be very happy for, even though I know it's not a time to specifically celebrate, but for Neil from Post to Post and his family. So I would definitely be happy that that has been the outcome. Are we watching it? Yeah, I am watching it. Although it's going to be another 8-10 minutes until overtime starts. I didn't know Getzlaff worked for player safety, but I guess that makes sense. I mean, he's very connected with George Peros. The 2019 Game 7 Sharks comeback. Yeah, it was. It was amazing. Uh, second greatest ever sporting event that I've been to. I've been to a lot of sporting events. That's number 2. That was incredible. 4 minutes until overtime. Oh, sweet. Yeah, Tommy boy, it is. That's heartbreaking, man. It really is. So we send our thoughts to the Taylor family. What was number 1? Well, the Minneapolis Miracle. That's the greatest, sporting event I've ever been to. Proud of whatever happens. Exactly. I think that's the right attitude, and hopefully, this is something that can be, this is franchise momentum. I'm curious to see what happens with, Consta Hellenius. I've really liked his game. I mean, he plays big. I mean, not every, player out there knows how to use their body to their advantage. But, like, he's already shown that he has skill with that. Yeah, he just turned 20. And he's not even that big. He plays big though. Uh, yeah, I thought you knew that, Jake, but yeah, I was at that game. Yep, I flew out from California, and I was in the nosebleeds, but I was in the corner of the end zone that Diggs ran into. And then, yeah, a year and a half later, or yeah, about a year and a half later, I was at the tank for Game 7. What's the most bizarre and hardest to explain moment from that side of a hockey game that I can't remember? Wait, the most bizarre and hardest to explain moment from that side. Um, I mean, shoot, we've got Irvin in the chat, right? I think of what was it, BX's goal against the Sharks in Game 5, 2011 conference final. Nobody knew that goal was in. And people thought that like it went off of the dasher behind the goal or something like that, but it didn't. It was just a weird bounce after the extra shot at or something like that. I can't remember. OT predictions. I'm gonna say give me Alex Newhook for the Canadiens, or give me let's see here. Give me Jason Zucker for the Sabres. So yeah. Transit fan Jacob, thank you very much. Cortana, you want a treat? No, she doesn't want treats? No? Normally I give treats to my dog, but she's just sleeping right now, and so I'll let her rest. But thank you. Merci beaucoup. Only Joan Shorthouse followed the puck. Yeah, that's true. He did pick that up. Zach Benson for Buffalo. That guy's going to be the biggest pest in the NHL pretty soon. Philip Deneau is going to get another one. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your butts. It's overtime. And I spelled intermission wrong. All right, we are underway with overtime. So here comes the Josh Norris line, top line. Matheson being pressured by Benson. Slavkovsky in the neutral zone. Suzuki knocked it down, but the Sabres have the possession. Here's a one-timer. Dobish pad save, still loose though off the shot from Zach Benson. And now Suzuki able to get this cleared. Dumped in. And the Canadiens will change up. Poked out to the Montreal point. Work down low. Shot from Demidov, and it goes quite wide. And racing toward it is McLeod, but it's fetched by Hudson. Tager taught? That's funny. Felt bad for Niemi because he was beaten on the softest shot. Yeah. Yeah. That was such a I mean, that series was frustrating. Like, even if the Sharks won that game, they still probably wouldn't have won the series. But that Vancouver team to me was right up there among the best I've seen that didn't win the cup. Now here comes Consta Hellenius. Over to Jack Quinn. And met by the body of Aiden Gooley. Canadiens just 22 shots on goal compared to 34 for the Sabres. Benson's had a nice playoffs. Yeah, he's definitely making his name known in the hockey community. Simon, what's going on? Or Simone, I'm not sure, because we do have a French Canadian team here. But welcome, thank you for joining us, and breathe. Sharks and Ducks make the playoffs, and the Kings won't. I mean, Ducks, I think they're very likely. I'm not sold on the Sharks just yet, but hopefully they just keep moving forward. Power, he basically just stick handles right into a defenseman. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. Deneau, it's back to the point. He's got Matheson top of the slot. Matheson still skating, trying to shovel it toward the crease, but nothing but Sabre sticks. Dumped out by Buffalo. Dobson. And that puck takes a weird bounce. Sabres able to get the clear. Benson waiting for one of his line mates to join, but Thompson can't control the puck. And Suzuki will skate the other way. Goes around the net. Three Sabres back there to defend. Byram trying to poke it out. But the Canadiens can resume the cycle. Slavkovsky able to fend off Dahlin, but Benson will scoop up the loose puck. Here comes Norris. And battles there with Caden Gooley. Regrouping now are the Canadiens with the first 3:10 gone by in overtime. Will the Kings miss playoffs, though, once Kopitar retires? I'm leaning toward yes. But then again, I mean, the division is not that good. So could they still maybe make it as a wild card? Possibly. Carrier. He'll shoot. Oh, it took a weird skip there. Luukkonen staying with it, though. Demidov, nice one-touch pass. He's getting ready to one-time this, too. You can tell. A shot from the point immediately off of the stickless Alex Tuck. The puck came out of the zone briefly. It's still the Canadiens were able to quickly re-enter the zone, though. And now a home run pass looking down ice. Will this go for icing? It will. So it will be an icing to the Sabres. The first NHL game I consciously remember. Boy. At least as a kid, I don't remember it in detail too much, but when I was like 7 or so, I remember going to see the Sharks play the Kings. I also saw the Sharks play the Avalanche around that time, like twice. So I guess those are like the first games I remember being at. I might have gone to one sooner than that, though. How's that icing? I have a Logan Stankoven jersey. Oh, sweet. Don't wash that jersey until it's July. Shot from the point, and Dobish gets a piece of it, and it deflects into the netting. Your first was the 94 Cup final. Magical run for both teams in that final, for sure. Kirk McLean was a god with pads. How's Stankoven playing? Stankoven's playing playoff Stanky. I mean, he has brought it every playoffs he's been in so far. I really like his game a whole lot. For somebody who's undersized like that, to not be afraid of contact and play a simple game. You know, he doesn't try to be too pretty out there at all. I've always liked his game. Oh, and Anderson barely missed the net there. Got a clear look. Another chance, Anderson and Luukkonen. I don't think he had to actually get a piece of that, but another chance generated here for the Canadiens. A shot from the point. Luukkonen getting a piece of that. You were happy with the trade, yeah. I got to see Stankoven back in juniors. Actually, I watched 2 games he was in. A chance for the Sabres the other way, though. Oh, pad save by Dobish off of Thompson. Still alive for the Sabres, and a shot that goes into the netting. But yeah, I got to see Stankoven twice in juniors with Kamloops. Loved it. Loved his game back then, and he's been great ever since he came into the NHL. Is he ever going to be like a point per game player? No, probably not. But I think that he plays his role very well. And yeah, I love Seth Jarvis, but they got to get him going. I mean, it's not like him to not be on the score sheet. You know, he's a fairly clutch player. I must confess that here in Argentina, the first NHL game we saw was the Penguins in 2009. I'm not surprised to hear that. I think that it's awesome that hockey is slowly but surely being recognized and celebrated in other parts of the world. And hopefully one day we can see some talented players come from South America and elsewhere in the world. Where am I from? Oh, I'm from California originally. I grew up just an hour south of San Jose, but I live in Idaho now. Yeah, Jackson Blake has been and Taylor Hall has been the glue on that line. And I love the intensity he's played with in these playoffs. He's not been afraid to mix it up and even get a little chippy out there. I love seeing that from Taylor Hall. Who am I cheering for? I really am not cheering for one team in particular. I mean, normally I would say Buffalo just because it's been so long since they've been successful. But in the case of Montreal, I would be very happy if they won for post to post, the channel post to post with Neil. Unfortunately, his father's been um, diagnosed with terminal cancer, and I, that's a lifelong Habs fan he is, and so uh, I definitely feel for his family. And so this would be a great story for them. But yeah, it doesn't matter too much to me personally because the Hurricanes are my favorite team in the Eastern Conference. So I would typically cheer for them. Yeah, yeah, Kane Sturge. I've heard that Montreal's been a tough matchup for Carolina. Yeah, Taylor Hall is a former number one. He's played for a lot of teams. Yeah, but yeah, Carolina's been a good spot for him. The first player who will come to mind, and it makes sense, is Sidney Crosby. Not to mention, I mean, you have had the chance to watch nearly his whole career or follow it. You live in Raleigh. I've just briefly been to Raleigh. Hopefully, I'll get another chance to go in the future. And Taylor Hall, yeah, it's 7 teams, and yeah, he was a heart winner. That Devils team, otherwise, no business being anywhere near the playoffs. Okay, down to 11:34 here in overtime. Habs control this. They have this in the Buffalo zone. Shot from Hudson off the skate. Texier, and he's surrounded by blue jerseys. We just have a scrum behind the Buffalo net. The Habs will continue cycling. Anderson looking to center it out in front. Good read there by the Sabres defense. He hasn't scored much for the Hurricanes. I mean, Aho offensively, he's been largely invisible. I mentioned Jarvis earlier. I expect more from him. So yeah, those are really the two guys I look at. And Svechnikov, he's had some chances, but he's got to bury the puck a little bit more. Uh, Ehlers had a slow start, but he looked a lot better later in the Senators and definitely in the Flyers series. Eyes of Night, what's going on? Kane's watching this hoping for 5 overtimes. Sounds about right. Okay, Dobson jumping into the play for the Canadiens. Newhook's got it behind the net. Hands it off to Evans. Fluttering into the slot, a shot. Oh my goodness, great setup for Demidov. Couldn't get that on net. And Slavin. I mean, Slavin, if he can get involved offensively, that's like a nice to have. As long as he's playing well in his own end, that's what matters most. And he's doing an awesome job with that too. But I remember a few years ago, he actually, I think this is like 2022. The Hurricanes, I think they got eliminated by the Rangers in the second round, and Slavin led the team in points. A shot from Hellenius goes just over Dobish. Yeah, exactly, Tommy. And Anderson's been amazing. Yeah, it's funny because he's let in I think 2 soft goals, but hardly anything has gotten past him other than that. He's really silenced the critics so far because I had no faith in the goaltending for the Hurricanes going into the playoffs. So he's been awesome. And he never takes penalties. Yeah, the 2-time Lady Byng Trophy winner for unofficially one of the least penalized players in the game. But I mean, if you play, especially Montreal, I would be fearful if. What am I trying to say? I don't know where my mind went with that. You know, the Hurricanes have gotten themselves in penalty trouble quite a bit in these first 2 series, though. So they do have to be more disciplined if they want to be in tighter, 2-1 or 3-2 games with a team like Montreal. Garnett, Crosby, Tiger Woods, Andy Roddick. Oh, that's right. I think Andy Roddick won one major, but of course, this is also at the same time that Federer and Nadal and then Djokovic were starting to dominate too. Thanks, Emperor. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was just saying the last time that the Canadiens won in Game 7 in overtime, all the way back in 1992 against the Hartford Whalers, and for the Sabres, you have to go back to 1997 against the Ottawa Senators. I think you should be able to hear me okay now. Yeah, I just wasn't talking for about 15 seconds there. All right. Under 9 minutes left. Oh boy. Lots of net front traffic from Josh Norris yet again. I think he's been in front of the net a lot this game. But good save by Dobish. The 92 Whalers versus Sab series, I still haven't gotten over that one. Really? The Canes actually, are they unstoppable, or do we think so because they played crappy teams? I mean, I don't think that playing 2 of the hottest teams in hockey in the playoffs is that's not playing crappy teams. But they haven't played a team like a kryptonite of years past, like the Panthers. Oh, score! Hey, I'm right. Alex Newhook wins it in overtime. Hey, LeBou! Well, what a heartbreaking finish for the Buffalo Sabres, but a great season they've had. A very good playoffs too, winning around and going all the way to Game 7. It's going to be the Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes battling in the Eastern Conference for a trip to the Stanley Cup Final. And as I mentioned earlier, let's keep the Taylor family, Brent Taylor, unfortunately diagnosed with terminal cancer, lifelong Canadiens fan. And let's keep his family, like his son Neil from Post to Post, in our thoughts here. And hopefully there's a chance for them to just enjoy this as a memory together. Wow. Game 7 clinching goals, New Hook, both of them. Wow. All right, folks. Well, I got to peace out now. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for the super chats, the memberships. Stick around. Hopefully, we can get live for another one of these conference final games. Please do leave a thumbs up before you go. I would appreciate that a lot. And man, it's heartbreaking for Buffalo fans, but I hope that they can hold their heads high because they've had themselves a great season, and I'm glad that that we can enjoy something like this that hasn't come around very much recently, and that's a team getting back to what their fans have invested years of their lives, really trying to enjoy. So anyway, I'm going to peace out for the evening from Cortana and myself. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Twister, for the birria tacos. Those were wicked good. And hopefully I'll see you guys again real soon, all right? Have a good night. Stay safe and enjoy the playoffs.